On this episode, I've got 100 genius home hacks for all seasons, from Christmas to fall to summer and spring. I've got you covered. And to all of my longtime viewers, there are many new ones mixed right along in this, so you're not going to want to miss a second of this. So sit back, relax, or maybe even try some of these hacks as we go, but let's get started. So for this hack, we are going to do a pumpkin little pot you can maybe use to store things in your kitchen or maybe some treats in them. And it's very simple. All you need is some kind of terracotta pot for the base. And then you're gonna need a saucer, terracotta saucer, for the top that kind of lines up with the top. And so then you can create the top on that. And then I took a decorative wood finial, cut off the little excess, and then I stained that with some antiquing wax, and then just glued it to the top with some E6000 and hot glue. You could even go as far as using epoxy if you wanted it super, super sturdy. Then I just took a little bit of twine that had like a brown effect on it to create like a vine, and then added some greenery. This is super easy, little quick DIY to store your treats for this fall. Maybe even put your keys in it. Just a little decorative element, and it will take you less than 5 minutes. I love that. Super cute, 5 minutes, love that kind of hack. Now you may have seen this one kind of floating around the Pinterest world, but I loved it. I loved how simple it was and how cute and adorable this was. So all I did is I went to the Dollar Tree and picked up one of their white candles that are in the skinny glass things. You know them, they're in every store. But you could do this with any kind of white candle in a jar. I love that flexibility. So the first thing I did is you want to make sure to leave some of the top white part poking out. Then you're gonna take some yellow spray paint. You don't have to tape anything off, just kind of spray the bottom 2/3 and then leave the upper 1/3 alone. And there will be some overspray, and that's kind of part of the effect. I love that. It's super simple. Let that dry. I even got a little carried away on mine and it ran a little bit, but this was very, very forgiving, because the next thing we're gonna do is on the lower third of the candle, you're just gonna go in with some orange spray paint and spray that really well and let that fully dry. That's it. We're talking well less than 5 minutes active time. There's some drying time in there, and you have the most adorable festive candy corn candle ever. You could do a whole bunch of these for a centerpiece. You could do them in different sizes and make a little vignette. I love this idea. It's so cute. I think it would be really cute decor for a party, and I hope it helps some of you. You can see that I just displayed it on an upside down little white ice cream dish, and it looked super cute like that as well. Just very easy peasy. I only made the one just to show you, but there's a lot of possibilities with this one, and I think it's so adorable, and I hope you do too. Here's another simple one that you've probably seen floating around the interwebs or Pinterest. It's so simple, but I wanted to include it because it wouldn't feel complete to do fall hacks without doing this to your toilet paper. So this is simple. Just take an orange napkin or an orange piece of fabric, or you can do actually whatever color you want. The orange kind of makes it feel a little festive in my opinion, and you wrap it around your toilet paper and tuck that down into the inside of the toilet paper holder. I've also seen people where they like unwind a bunch of the toilet paper and like kind of scrunch it together and wind it back up to kind of give it a little bit more fullness, but you don't really need to do that. And then you can take like a stick or a cinnamon stick and put that down into the center of this pumpkin, maybe tuck in some silk greenery leaves, and then you have an adorable pumpkin that you can display on your bathroom shelves and have it there, ready to use when you're needing it. And it's super cute bathroom decor and super simple to do, and that's what I love about this. If you want to keep your pumpkins fresh for longer, you're going to want to know this simple hack. All you need to do is gather up your gourds. You're going to want to put them stem down in some water that has a little bit of bleach in it. Mine is chlorine free. I don't know if that works as good as the chlorine stuff. And you're going to soak these for 10 minutes. And then once you're done with that, you pull them out, pat them dry a little bit, and then you're going to buff them out with some Vaseline. Not only will this give your gourds a fun glow, it will also make them last longer. It's a simple and easy hack. that will prevent some of that mushiness that can happen and keep them from rotting out before the end of the season. So I hope that helps many of you. So other than Christmas, I'm not really a huge seasonal decorator. So I love simple ways to bring in the fall vibes or the seasonal vibes with simple, easy hacks. And so this one, I had this cloche that I will switch out stuff in, and right now I had a faux plant in it because I'm a serial plant killer and I don't really do the live stuff because I will kill it and then I'll feel guilty. Anyways, I digress. So all you're gonna do with this is take out whatever in your cloche and substitute it. And what I did is I just took a boxwood wreath that I already had. I didn't spend any money on this because this is stuff that I had. And then I took like a medium-sized orange faux pumpkin and sat it on top of the boxwood wreath and put the cloche lid back on. Easy peasy, we're talking seconds. I love it. Super cute. It's a super cute way to just switch out little tiny things to bring in the season and make it feel festive without a lot of effort and without a lot of expense. And so I hope you enjoyed that idea. Another simple and easy hack to bring in the seasons without spending a lot of money and a lot of time is to have a frame that you just switch out prints, and you can have the same like 4 or 5 prints and you just switch them out and rotate them. And you can see here, this is maybe another little hack. This frame actually kind of self-supports itself by bracing it on its frame, but I wanted to give it a little bit more snugness, so you can see that I use a little painter's tape on the back. Nobody sees it. So there's another little bonus hack, I guess, and you're finding out all my dirty little secrets here. But all you need to do is switch out the prints. I had an autumn print printed up last year. I'm gonna reuse it again this year, and we're gonna just put it right on top of the art that was already there, so you don't need to find a different place to store it. Just store it in the frame. If you only have 4 or 5 prints in there, that's not gonna cause any issues at all to just leave it right there and just rotate it. And so I love this. I'll link the print that I used this time around, but I've also done in the past one that says, I'm so glad I live in a world that has Octobers or something like that. I can't remember exactly the phrase, but that's a free printable that I provided to you, and I'll link that below if that's something you're interested as well. Whatever the vibe you're going for, there's a lot of prints out there that you can just print out, and then, you know, doing simple things like switching out the greenery in your vases for fall leaves. Simple things like that take less than 5 minutes and really change the look and the feel that you have in your home without spending a lot of money and without expending a lot of effort, because we are all busy, right? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. I doubt it. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but I am releasing my first tool in my power tool line on September 26th. I am so thrilled. It's beautiful, it's sparkly, it's girly, but most importantly, it's powerful because it's time for us to have some real tools, ladies. Am I right? No more weak power tools for us. If you're watching this and I've already launched it, I will make sure that that is linked below. I'd love it if you went and checked out how beautiful it is. Our promise is to give you a Tiffany-esque experience, but for power tools, because we ladies are worth it. All right, so this next hack is so cool, and it's really gonna blow your mind if you haven't seen this yet. It's just that awesome. So I have brought it in my kitchen. Outside would work good. I would not recommend doing this on your kitchen table or your craft table if it's wood, because we are playing with fire. So here we go. This is what we're gonna do. We are gonna take a napkin, and I kind of have debated back and forth between the cheetah print and the gingham. So let me show you what we're gonna do. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this because it's unnecessary and it will get in the way actually. And then we're gonna need 2 napkins. For those of you who are curious, I got these napkins at Hobby Lobby. Then what we're gonna want to do is try to get just the top layer of this napkin. So you're gonna separate it like so. There is another layer, and it's really important that you only get the top layer because otherwise it won't work right. Okay, so there we go. And tissue paper I bet would work as well. And then, because we're gonna need 2 here. So you can see that the word is kind of long, so we'll put a seam right here at the K. The secret to this is we are going to take some Mod Podge, squeeze some Mod Podge on here. You want to be pretty generous with the Mod Podge. We can do a little cleanup later. Just kind of brush it out. And then you are going to tap, tap, tap the napkin into place. Work quickly here. Now we're gonna try to line this up. And while it's still wet, you want to do a rough cut around the edges of your words. You also want to poke some holes in the middle of, like in the middle of the A, you want to poke a hole in there. So, and you're gonna see why in just a second. Now we're gonna play with fire. Kids, do not try this at home. Only adults under supervision. We're gonna move anything that's paper. We're gonna focus doing this over my granite countertops. And what we're gonna do is light it on fire. Oh, look at that. And what it does is it gives us a perfect edge. Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy? It just is burning all the way around. And if it stops, move your hand. You don't want to get burned. And if it stops in an area, we'll go back and hit that area, but it gives us, see, it just went out. So now we're gonna do it on here. And you can see, look how it is getting right up to the edge. Isn't this the coolest thing you've ever seen? And then you want to do this while the Mod Podge is wet because it will extinguish it. It's so awesome, right? How fun is that? And then to clean up the edges, we'll continue to do this, but just to show you, to clean up the edges, you just take a paintbrush and we can just brush it off and clean up the edges. And isn't that the coolest technique ever? This was my first attempt at this, and so I did get a couple of burn marks, but you know what? I think it adds to the rustic nature of this, so it's not a big deal. And now I'm just gonna take some crystal clear coat and we are going to spray a sealer. There you go, easy peasy. Here it is. And now isn't it so cute? Now you could do any word you want. You could do this for any season or not. So you might be seeing me use this technique in the future. I think that it is so fun and it definitely lends itself for a rustic fall appearance. And I just think this is adorable. Isn't that a cool hack? I had never seen that before and maybe you hadn't either. So I wanted to share it with you because I just thought it was awesome. I wanted to tap a pumpkin. Now it's a little early in my area to find a real pumpkin, so I got this foam one that we are going to tap, and I have a way that we're gonna make it food safe. And the cool thing about doing the foam pumpkin is it will be something that we could use in the future, so it's not like a one and done, but I really think doing a live fresh pumpkin would be super fun. Let's do this one and I'll give you some tips about doing a fresh pumpkin along the way. First thing, we are going to take a bowl and trace it on top. And then I have a hot knife already heated up here, and we're going to use that to cut through, and hopefully it will make it super easy. Now, how do we make this food safe? We are going to line it with a crock pot liner because these are food safe. And so what we're gonna do is we are gonna just push this down. And you could use like a really big 5-gallon Ziploc bag. And we're gonna need to push this down as much as possible, but we don't want it to like cave in. So we're gonna take some little short pins. They look like this, and we're gonna just go around the rim and push it into place. And so that will kind of hold it into place for us. So we're gonna just fold this and pin it all the way around and try to push as much of the bag in as possible. We're kind of just pleating it because it's obviously going to bunch up. So we've got the top cut, we've got it lined, and now it's food safe. You don't necessarily have to do that with the liner for a fresh pumpkin, but you may not like the flavor of a fresh pumpkin, so you may want to do it anyways. And then like every time you reuse this one, you can just change out the bag, and it shouldn't be too much trouble. So you have a completely food safe place to put your beverage. And so now we've got to decide where we want to tap it. We're gonna put it kind of towards the bottom. This is a kit that I got off of Amazon. I'll link it in the description box below. I imagine that you could use any kind of drink dispenser, but this one was made for watermelon, so I thought it would work on a pumpkin. So we're gonna just mark where we're gonna put that, and then it comes with a kind of, it looks very much like an apple core that I have in my possession, so I bet that's what it actually is. And we're gonna just use this as a saw and bore the hole for it, and it should be exactly the right size. And then we're gonna take our tap, we're gonna shove this through the hole. Make sure there's a hole just big enough for us to put it through. Actually, the tighter you can get it around it so it snugs on there, the liner bag, the better. That way it's not leaking out into the foam pumpkin. If it does, you can probably rinse it out after the fact, but you want to keep as much of the beverage in the plastic bag as possible. So we're gonna try to get that nice and snug on there. And then we're gonna just take the back on the inside of the pumpkin and thread that on, and that's it. And so I really think this is exciting and a fun idea here, and I'm gonna show you on our next hack just how it works. But isn't it cute? It looks super cute here. For our next hack, we are going to be doing an easy butterbeer. I just thought it would be fun to throw in a little fun fall drink. Now, whether you're a Harry Potter fan or not, butterbeer is very yummy. Even though you can drink it any time of year, the butterscotch flavoring and the cream soda to me kind of has a fall flair. Okay, so for my next hack, we are gonna be doing a fall simmer pot. Oh man, I wish you could smell my house right now because it smells amazing. For this hack, what you're gonna need is an apple, an orange, a couple of cinnamon sticks, and vanilla. You may have all of these in your kitchen right now. You are going to make a simmer pot. This is great for parties or just to have the fall scent in your home, but this will do the trick. So what I did is I took a couple of apples that were kind of going by the way. They were a little bit too soft to enjoyably eat, but not quite like horrible. And so I just stuck them on my apple peeler core slicer and just did a pretty spiral with them. And that was for looks, but also to kind of open up the apple. You don't need to do it that way. You can just chop up an apple and throw it in a pot. I just thought it would be fun. And then I sliced up an orange, and so it was 2 apples, 1 large orange, and then I put that in a pot, and then I added 2 cinnamon sticks and a cap full of vanilla. So it was probably, I don't know, like a generous teaspoon of vanilla. And then I added I don't even know. I didn't measure the water, I just added some water, and this all went in my beautiful pumpkin pot that I love. You don't need the fancy pumpkin pot. You can put this in any pot and it will still smell just as nice. And then you just bring it to a boil and then turn down the heat to a low simmer, and you can keep it going all day by adding additional water. Make sure you don't leave it unwatched. You know, you don't want to burn it. So just make sure that there's always a little bit of water and keep it nice and slow. And I promise you, your house will smell absolutely amazing with this. And so this next hack would be great for a party or just if you're feeling festive. All you need is some small cookie cutters. I picked up this set that I'm going to be using at Hobby Lobby. You can get them anywhere really. So I found this little mini pumpkin. I was able to cut 6 little pumpkins out of 1 slice of cheese. If you're very careful, you can do that as well. And then just do a little cheese and cracker plate. This could be just for you to feel festive, or it could be for a fun party idea. And you can do all kinds of different fall leaves, you know, maple leaves, anything. And no need to get rid of the cast-offs because they make a really great treat for your dog to get them to do little tricks for you. And according to the AKC, it is okay to give your dogs a little cheese, or you can just save it and use it for yourself as well. But isn't that just a fun, easy fall hack? I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. For my next hack, it's an easy fall napkin ring idea, and I just quickly put together an easy table setting to go along with it. So for this hack, I took another orange and I made it into slices, and I ended up dehydrating these oranges in my dehydrator. But if you don't have a dehydrator, you can dry out oranges in the oven. It's a little faster. It makes them a little bit darker in color, but you can get a very good result with that as well. But I went ahead and dehydrated mine on a dehydrator, and what's really nice about that is it keeps them really nice and flat, and it really keeps that orange color. That's just kind of a fun thing. Then you're gonna take some paper towel holders. It could be the inside of a wrapping paper tube or a toilet paper roll. All you need to do is cut it about 2 inches and then wrap it in whatever you have. You could wrap it in burlap, you could wrap it in rope. I had this kind of fun cheetah print roll that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and I already had it on hand, so I just grabbed it, and I thought that might be kind of a fun little sassy element on mine. So I just cut it out about 2-inch width of it, and then used a hot glue gun to start it, and then I rolled it on and finished it out with hot glue. When it was cool, I folded it back and cut off the excess, and then I took a little length of rope. I didn't measure it at all, like a twine, a heavier twine. I thought mine was a little bit thick. I'd probably go with the baker's twine. It would be a little bit better, I think, ultimately. I mean, it really did turn out cute, and it's not a big deal, but I think it would, if I were to guess, about 8 inches, and then you can kind of cut off the excess. And then you're gonna poke 2 holes in your orange, and you're gonna thread that rope through the orange to kind of hold it in place. Okay, so with the orange slice on, we are going to take some eucalyptus sprigs. I found this in the wedding section of Hobby Lobby, and I just clipped off a couple of those, but you could use actually dried eucalyptus or whatever greenery you would like to use. And then I bought a whole bulk thing of cinnamon sticks because I've been using a ton of them this time of year, and it's a better deal to buy them in bulk. And then I took 1 cinnamon stick and put that on top of the eucalyptus and tied a little bow, and then of course any of the twine that is excess, then we can just cut that off. And that is a very quick, not so quick if you're drying the oranges. That part is a little time consuming, not like active time, if that makes sense, but isn't that so chic? Now I put this on a white plate with a white linen napkin, and then I found these little wood thankful pieces. They're meant for table decor at Hobby Lobby. They're 50% off and super, super inexpensive. I think the whole bag was $4, and I think this makes an adorable table setting. You could use this at any of your fall gatherings but it would especially look super cute for Thanksgiving, which is still a while away, so you've got some time to put this together. But isn't that so cute? And you can customize it how you like. For example, the napkin ring, if the cheetah print doesn't work for you, you could do a more rustic vibe. They do sell leather at the Dollar Tree, like the faux leather, and that would also, I think, look really cute with this. But what do you think of this table setting and this napkin ring idea? I hope you liked it. This next fall hack is a super easy way to upgrade an existing wreath that you already have, like an everyday wreath. If you have a regular boxwood wreath and you don't want to go out and buy a brand new wreath, but you kind of want to bring in that fall flair, this next hack is for you. Super, super easy. So I bought a pack of a whole bunch of little tiny miniature pumpkins. All you have to do is print this out, and then I just cut it out into two little pieces, the give and the thanks, and you're gonna pick out two miniature pumpkins, one slightly larger than the other, but not much. And then you're going to take this printout and tape it to the middle of that tiny pumpkin. And then you're gonna take some graphite paper, some people call it carbon paper. It doesn't really matter, it's all the same thing, really. And you slide that underneath this printout, and then you trace it onto your pumpkin. And then you take a fine tipped Sharpie and go over that transferred lettering. And you might want to do it a couple of times to really richen it up. And it says, give thanks. Then you're gonna pop out the stem of the bottom pumpkin, which will be the slightly larger pumpkin, and get rid of it. And then you're gonna take a wood skewer and shove that into the bottom pumpkin and up through the top. And then we're gonna attach the tinier pumpkin, the one that says give, on top of that. And then any excess of the skewer, then just clip that off. And then all you need to do is very gently shove that into your boxwood wreath, and all of a sudden you have an instant and very cute fall themed wreath, and you didn't have to buy a new one. You have about 50 cents worth of pumpkins on the wreath, and it is super easy, right? So I hope that fall wreath hack worked well for you. Well, you can't have fall without a little candy corn. And I don't know what it is about this candy, but I kind of like it. I don't know. It's like straight sugar, but it's kind of got a butterscotch flavor to it. It's really good. And so if you like candy corn, you're gonna like this next hack. So I've seen this around, you've probably seen this around too, but I just wanted to do a little refresher because sometimes you don't need to go super crazy to really get a cute fall centerpiece or accent. This literally takes no formal training, but gets a really cute look in the end. This is using candy corn in two different ways. Now, the first way I did is I just took a glass bowl, put a candle in the center of it, and then poured in a whole bunch of candy corn in the base. And you could just leave it like that. You could do several of them. You could do them in different sizes. You could, like I did here, place it up on a white pedestal base or any kind of pedestal base to kind of give it a little bit of height, and then do several smaller ones. But this is just to give you an idea. So you could do one with a candle in the center and it looks super, super cute. But like I said, this is two different ways. And so the second option is taking another base. This vase I had on hand, I've had it for a while, and I just thought it would be really cute. I like that it has a little pedestal base on it already on this glass vase. And then you can take any kind of simple glass or canning jar like I did here, and you put it in the center of the other vase, and then you fill in the gap between the glass and the vase and fill it full of candy corn. And then I had these fall leaves that I ordered off of Amazon. And for those of you who watched my Amazon episode and saw that some of my fall leaves got sold out really fast, and I apologize for that, and they substituted with a different one. I actually am going to give you a few options for fall leaves that I found and have ordered off of Amazon that look really, really good. And then all we have to do is put your fall leaves in the center of the vase. Now you could do a whole floral arrangement if you wanted to, but keeping simple fall leaves looks so good with this setup with the candy corn. It screams fall. And you could use live fall leaves if you have access to them, or if not, if you don't have access to them like me, you can order them off of Amazon. So there's a lot of options, but I really think this is a super, super cute look. I love it. And it's super easy. You didn't need anything. And if you're feeling like you need a little snack, you can go snatch a couple of the candy corn and pop them. There you go. So I hope you like that. So this next hack is to upgrade a store-bought cupcake. I like to zhuzh up store-bought cupcakes because sometimes you're in a hurry, but you want something that looks cute and custom, like you slaved over it for hours. So I picked up these chocolate cupcakes from the grocery store, and what you're gonna wanna do is throw them in the freezer for about 30 minutes. This helps to really make the frosting solid for this next part. And then you pull them out, and then you can take some kitchen scissors and clip off the frosting from the cupcake, and then you can take one of your apple cores and make a hole in your cupcake. And then I have this peanut butter sauce that I ordered off of Amazon. Oh my word, there's the thunder again. And then you can fill the inside of your cupcake with this Reese's peanut butter sauce, and then you can replace the frozen frosting right back into place. Now that part I didn't do on my channel before. To give it a fall flair, we are going to make these little edible acorns and they are so cute. So all you need to do is take a Hershey's Kiss. You can use the milk chocolate, or I use the dark chocolate ones in this one. And in the past I've used Nutter Butters, the little miniature Nutter Butters, not the big ones, the round ones that you can get in a bag. They didn't have them at my store when I went to buy them this time, so I substituted out some peanut butter stuffed Ritz crackers. It also tasted really good and worked out really well as well. So both of them work. Then you just need to melt a few chocolate chips, and then you dip your Hershey's Kiss in the melted chocolate chips and touch that to either your Ritz cracker, your mini Ritz cracker, or your mini Nutter Butter. And then on the other side, you take a regular chocolate chip, dip that in the chocolate, and that becomes your top. And then you have these really cute edible acorns that you can put on top of your cupcakes, and that's what really brings in that fall vibe to these cupcakes. Now you could add some chopped up nuts or drizzle on some melted peanut butter or whatever you want to do to zhuzh them up. I just left it on these chocolate ones plain. But I wanted to share with the ones that I have shared in the past with you, because I have done this with a peanut butter frosting and it definitely pops off and like is more noticeable on that peanut butter frosting. So you could make a homemade cupcake, a chocolate cupcake, do peanut butter frosting, and then put the edible acorns on top of that. And there's just a lot of options for you on that. So there's a couple of ways to zhuzh up some cupcakes, give them the fall flair, and I hope you enjoy that. Next up, I am using up some more of those apples that are about to go by the way, but not quite mushy. You don't have to use those kind of apples for this next one. You can use perfectly good apples as well, and it will work. I just used some Gala apples, and I took some tea lights that I picked up at Dollar Tree and traced them out right in the center of the apple. And then you want to get rid of the stem beforehand. I learned this the hard way. Just get rid of the stem first, and then you take a knife and just cut around that where you traced the tea light to be, and then once you've traced that out with a knife cut, then you go back in with a spoon and scoop out the center, and then you can shove your little tea light right in the top of an apple, and it looks super cute, right? Then you just need to find a wood tray or some kind of tray. I used wood because I really feel like that natural element really helps play up the fall vibe to this. And then I went out and I clipped a few magnolia leaves, which are richly abundant here in my neighborhood in Florida, but you could use whatever greenery you have access to. Lemon leaf works good. It's also known as salal, or actual clippings from an apple tree. If you're lucky to have an orchard, you can just grab some of those. It doesn't matter. The idea is just throwing together a simple yet elegant centerpiece idea here, so nothing complicated. So then you just line up your apples on this wood tray, tuck in some greenery of your choice that you're able to easily find around you. Don't spend any money if you can help it, and then just tuck that into place. And then to up the ante of the fall vibe and scents, you take some of those cinnamon sticks from that bulk cinnamon that you bought and tuck them around the arrangement at different angles, and voila. That literally takes no experience. You light the candles and you have a gorgeous fall centerpiece. Now, this is probably not something that's going to last for a long amount of time. Obviously, the apple will start to decay. I don't know, maybe you could do it with a foam or faux apple and it could last a little bit longer, but this is definitely something for like if you're gonna entertain or have a nice dinner party or whatnot. You want a simple yet elegant arrangement, you can go ahead and do this hack, light the candles, and it's beautiful and it's kind of low so you can still see people. So I don't know, I just loved how this turned out. It was super easy to put together, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I thought it would be really fun to create a non-toxic cleaner that really brought in that fall feel in the scents. This is very, very simple. So the first thing that I did is boil the water and cool it. You can use distilled water, but I just used tap water, boiled it, cooled it, and that worked great for me. Once the water is cooled, you want to pour that into a glass spray bottle. Now you really do want to use the glass one because we are going to be using some essential oils, and I believe that there are properties in essential oils that will break down plastic. So I took the cooled down water, poured it into that bottle, and then I added a teaspoon of baking soda. And then you shake it up, get that baking soda dissolved. And then I added a teaspoon of Castile soap. And then you're gonna add 30 to 35 drops of your favorite essential oil. Now, I got these essential oils a couple of years ago. Essential oils go a long way. And then I just used the pumpkin pie scent because that was the one that I was feeling the most. Then I shook it all together and there was our cleaner. Very simple. Feel free to add vinegar or whatever works for your cleaning. But I felt really good about this. It had the baking soda, there's cleaning properties in essential oils. I love that there's a lot of flexibility in this recipe. And then as a little fun thing for our fall purpose cleaner, that's what I'm calling it, I made a free printable that you can go to my website, download, and it's got one for every season, for fall, winter, spring, and summer. So if you want to switch out your scents for the season, so I'm gonna get 4 bottles and just label them so I don't have to switch them out, and I'll store those glass bottles for when the appropriate time comes around. Now, I use this cleaner and it is absolutely amazing. I love it. It smells better than anything that you can find in the store. And what I've learned over the past several months is just how many toxins are in our cleaning supplies, our beauty supplies, our food. My mind is blown. I'm not gonna get on a total soapbox on this, but because of my health issues a few months ago, I really had my eyes opened to the toxins that are there. This cost me about 25 cents to make this bottle. I know what's in it. I know it's toxin free. It's amazing. So I hope this fall purpose cleaner helps you, and I really hope you love this because this was one of my favorite hacks from this episode. So enjoy. Next up, I wanted to create a pumpkin folded napkin. I like to do some specialty napkins, and I had seen this on Pinterest and I thought it would be really, really fun to share in this episode. All you're gonna need to do is take a napkin color of your choice. I went with a traditional orange, but you could do it in white or whatever color matches your decor, and you're gonna lay it open flat. Then you're gonna put a ring of some sort, like a couple-inch ring. You could use a shower curtain ring from the Dollar Tree. You could use a traditional napkin ring. So you put that on the center, and then you pull up the center just a couple of inches, and then you bring the corners in on each other and tuck them down into that ring, but still keeping that center part up. And then you do the opposite corners, and then you keep doing the corners and tucking that in the center until it naturally creates this little pumpkin. It was so cute. But we need a little stem, so I took a cinnamon stick from my kitchen that I had on hand and tucked that down into the center, and then I just clipped off a little bit of greenery and tucked that next to our cinnamon stick, and there you have it. A very adorable pumpkin that was so easy to do, adds a total fall vibe. You can use this for any dinner party you are having. Thanksgiving, it would be wonderful for that. It's definitely going to be on my Thanksgiving table this year. Loved it. It was so cute, so easy. Anybody could do this, and I hope you enjoyed that. This next hack is the easiest way to make a fall wreath, and it could potentially be free depending on what you use. So you could go out in, if you have beautiful fall leaves, gather up a whole bunch of clippings from the trees. If you need to like trim up a tree, take a whole bunch of branches and make it out of that, because I think that they would dry beautifully and they would look beautiful in the meantime. So that way you could be, well, not completely free. You will need to get a form, but I got a whole bunch of fall leaves from the Dollar Tree, very inexpensive. I think I got 18 for this, and then I got one of the Dollar Tree wire rounds that was in a gold color. I figured then if it peeked through, you wouldn't really notice it because it was already in those gold tones, but you could use the green one for sure. So then I just fluffed out the leaves a little bit and then bunched them together, and then I took zip ties and zip tied them to the wreath form and pulled it nice and snug, clipped off the excess, and I kept doing this in a circular pattern all the way around. And if I felt like there was a bare spot, I would go do one there. And literally this was done in under 10 minutes, and it looked so glorious and beautiful on my front porch. And so if you're looking for the easiest way to do a fall wreath, this hack is definitely for you. I saw a similar looking one online. I don't remember where it was made from, but it was $200. We made ours for around 20 bucks with all the supplies and everything. So that is a massive savings. Again, you could go and use real authentic fall leaves and do it for even more economical. But I thought this was just a super easy way to get a beautiful fall wreath in your life, and I hope it helps you. Okay, so while I was out on my porch, it needed a little bit of love. So my son accidentally knocked this over and broke it, so we are going to take that away and clean up the extra glass that he missed. It was a bummer. And from blowing storms in the summer, we get a lot of summer storms. There was leaves and debris, so it needed a little cleanup. So I did it a little sweep up, and then I had these empty black pots. Probably empty because I am not good with real plants, and what was in them died. They did last a while though. Anyway, so it needed a little bit of love, but I wanted it to have some like wow factor, like real impact, but not take a lot of work. My pots were looking a little bit tired, so I took WD-40. That's what I did, is I pulled out the WD-40, wiped it down. It was good to go. So then we had shiny pots that were empty, but I didn't want to do anything that I was going to kill, and I wanted to make a huge high impact. So I found this Greenery at Hobby Lobby. I only got 2 of them because they weren't on sale. I'm going to probably go back and get a couple more, and I just put that on the edge of the pot, kind of fluffed it up, and then I took these ginormous pumpkins that were huge. Kind of pricey, I'm not gonna lie. They were a bit of an investment, but I feel like this is something that I could use year over year over year. So I was okay with this because I viewed it as a little bit of an investment. But I took these ginormous pumpkins, sat it on top of this kind of fluffy greenery, and then it kind of gave this visual effect of a pumpkin patch with these giant pumpkins. Now I thought it would be really cute to stack them up, so maybe over the years I'll add a couple more. Let me know if if you like this look, but I thought this was such high impact for very little effort. This, I mean, literally, it took me longer to polish up my pots than to put together this little topiary thing with the ginormous pumpkins. You could use real pumpkins, you could stack them up. There's a lot of options on that. If you do decide to stack them up, I would recommend sticking a dowel through it just so they stay together. These are heavy enough that and secure enough how they are that I don't think that there's going to be any issues with blowing wind. But I love this. I think it's so high impact, so cute, and again, so easy, and has that fall vibe that will last through Halloween, Thanksgiving, all of that. I mean, it is August and I'm doing this. I wonder what my neighbors are thinking of me. I think they've gotten used to my premature holiday decorating by now. I don't know. So this next hack is for those of you who may not want to go all out for fall, but want to bring in some of those vibes. And that is just adding little elements of fall to your everyday decor pieces. For example, this arrangement behind me, I just tucked in a couple of green pumpkins into this arrangement. It already matched. I didn't have to rearrange it. I didn't have to move it. I didn't have to find a place to store it. And I just added a couple of pumpkins in, and then I also set another pumpkin next to it that was in the same kind of tones, and a couple of other pumpkins on the other side. So just adding those little touches of fall to your existing decor without having to totally do an overhaul is just a simple way to bring in the fall without all of the effort, I guess you would say. So look for little places to like switch out one pillow. Like on my bed, I've switched out and put one fall pillow out. The rest is all of my regular decor. Didn't redo it all, but it still brings in that kind of fall feeling that I love. So I hope that helps you. Just think outside the box if you're not gonna go all out on decorating for the seasons. I thought it would be fun to throw in a couple of entertaining things for fall. There are simple and easy ways to bring it in without a lot of work. So this one is a fall punch. Now this all hinges on getting a pumpkin-shaped glass drink dispenser or punch bowl. If you can find one in a thrift store, great. I will link the one that I bought off of Amazon, and it is just so adorable. This drink dispenser is really cute, but it's clear. So what we are gonna do is make it orange by drinks. And so this recipe, I did 1 container of orange juice, 1 container of carrot juice, and a little thing of Sprite. And that carrot juice really does up the orange level. But what I will say is this was a little out of proportion. So you're gonna wanna taste this on your own. It was a little too strong on the carrot vibes. I'm gonna tell you that up front. I think if you went and got another orange drink like mango peach that you could add to it and maybe pull back a little bit on the carrot juice, there would be a little bit more balance. So play around. Like I said, it was a little heavy on the carrot, still tasted good. Of course, then you're gonna add ice, and then I sliced up some oranges just to embellish it and make it feel special, right? And then to add that garden element, the pumpkin patch feel or the leaf, I just clipped off a little pieces of mint and floated them around. Now in the inspiration recipe that I found, they did little gummy frogs, little gummy worms, so that could be really fun if you're doing it for like a Halloween party. But if you're doing it for just any time fall, I really liked the elegance of doing the little mint sprigs on the top of this. Super cute. Play with the flavors to meet your needs. I even think it would be fun to do like a tomato juice based one. So there's a lot of options there. Just think orange punch inside this beautiful clear glass pumpkin. It just really makes it feel special sometimes with just the elements of decor that you use, like a pumpkin shaped drink dispenser. Next up, if you're looking for a way to bring fall into a dinner party, then you're gonna love this next hack, because all it is leaf-shaped biscuits. And I took some pop-up grand biscuits and kind of flattened them out just a touch, not much, just a little bit. Then I took a leaf cookie cutter, pressed it down, and cut them all out that way. Now, I'm all for homemade biscuits, so totally go that route if you can. This was just like, if you're in a hurry, in a pinch, this worked out really great. I'm telling you, it looks so cute. Served with a white chicken chili that I made for dinner. It would be really cute to use them and make little breakfast sandwiches. If you were having like a fall breakfast get together, you could use that as the biscuits and gravy, fall leaf. It all just feels a little bit special when you cut it out with just a different shape. I will say that I did try to use like the peel off of the excess to make another biscuit. It didn't really work out well. So just as a little FYI, on those like pop-up biscuits, you can't really reuse those. It looked weird. But I thought this was so adorable and such a way to bring in the fall without hardly any effort. And that's the point of all these hacks, right? Is easy. Next up, we are gonna make a really simple and easy centerpiece or piece of decor if you wanted to put it on like a fall buffet. The idea is making a pumpkin shaped floral arrangement. So you soak some wet floral foam. This is different than the dry stuff. This is meant to soak up a bunch of water to feed fresh flowers. So you let that soak until it's nice and heavy and it's full of water. And then I just kind of cut it out in like a round sphere. This is not going to be perfectly pumpkin shape. If you really want to take the time to really get it down perfect, you could do that. But this is going to be more spherical than a pumpkin, right? And then I bought these orange roses at the grocery store, buy one, get one free. It was a really good deal. They were a little blown out because I had had them a couple days before I was able to film this, but that was actually good because they were a little bit bigger and substantial. I've done this before using chrysanthemums and like button mums. That actually works really, really great as well. And so the idea is just you cut them down short, shove it all in, make it kind of as round and spherical as possible. Then you're gonna need something as a stem. I tried a little branch that I cut off of my bush. It was too short, too scrawny. So I ended up taking a dowel that had been outside and weathered a little bit, cutting it down, putting that in the center, and then taking a couple of leaves that I clipped off of that same bush, tucking that in to be the leaves. You get the idea when it's orange and it has the stem with the leaf. Maybe it looks a little bit like an apple, but that's still fall-like, right? But with the orange color, I think most people will get that it's supposed to be a pumpkin. It's super cute. Use it as a centerpiece for a get-together, and I hope you enjoyed that one. So I always like to throw in like a fun little easy treat that is very thematic and really pulls in holiday vibes, whatever the season is, but with very little effort. So this time we're gonna make a little donut acorn, and we're gonna do this by taking a donut hole already made at the store, and then we're gonna grab some Nutella and spread that on the top, and then you can pick whatever topping you want to kind of give it that crunchy detail of the acorn. You could use sprinkles, you could use toasted coconut, you could use chopped up nuts. In my case, I used some chopped up toffee pieces, pressed that down into it, and then I used half of a pretzel stick and shoved that down into our little faux acorn, and these turned out so cute. Now, as I went along, instead of spreading on the Nutella with a knife, I just dunked it right down into the jar. It went great, and just kept pressing on those toffee pieces with the pretzel stick, and they turned out so cute, so easy, but better yet, everybody said they tasted so good. They loved them. This was a total hit. So easy, and an acorn, it screams fall, and it took no time. And so I hope that helps you in some of your entertaining. Now back to the fall scents, bringing that in to really get that vibe. I had some potpourri that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. Now this would be really easy if you could go out and pick up some pine cones. Depending on where you live, you can gather your own pine cones for absolutely free. If you do that though, they do suggest baking them in the oven to kill any bugs. That kind of creeped me out. So I got mine at Hobby Lobby, and then I took some of those same essential oils that we spiced up our cleaner with and I just dripped that over the pine cones. So every time I walk by, I can get a little whiff of that fall scents that really elevate my fall spirit. And it was super easy, just a couple of drops of essential oil. So I hope you enjoyed that. This next idea I have for you was actually originally in an IKEA hack episode, but really the truth of it is you didn't need to get this stuff at IKEA. All I did is I took like this really simple, elegant white pot and I put some floral foam in it, pushed a giant hydrangea down into it that was kind of had these green colors in it, and then a big white pumpkin on top of that, and that was it. And it looked so elegant in my black and white china hutch with all of my whiteware, and it took like no time, no skill, no effort, and it looks super, super elegant. And I did get some of the stuff from IKEA, but these are things that you can get at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anywhere. So I hope that helps some of you. So for our first holiday hack, I kind of discovered this one last year when I had just finished building this beautiful fireplace. I knew I wanted to hang stockings, but I did not want to clutter the whole thing up with either stocking hangers or put a whole bunch of holes in my beautiful new mantle. So what do? And as an added bonus, this will work if you don't have a fireplace mantle but have a console or a shelf or something else that you don't want to put screw holes in as well. So this is a good little hack. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find 2 stocking holders that kind of curl over and can act as a brace for a curtain rod. So I did this last year where you just slide kind of a skinny curtain rod through these 2 stocking holders on either end of the piece that you're using, whether that's a mantle or a shelf or whatnot. You put them on either end, slide the curtain rod through it, then you can stack them up with as many stockings as you want without making any kind of holes. This is such an amazing hack, super easy to do. And it's beautiful too, so don't you think this looks good on my mantle? What do you think? Maybe you've been cooking, maybe you have like an odd odor going on, or maybe you just want to plain boost the smell of your home to make it smell more festive and more beautiful. Well, you could use a candle, but my next hack is very efficient at pushing it through your entire house, and that is because we are going to scent our air filters with essential oils. The scents are indicative of a holiday flair. This is also a good time to kind of switch out your air filter. You should be switching them out at minimum about 4 times a year, every quarter, but realistically it's probably better if you can switch those out once a month. Put in a fresh filter when you're doing this, and then I like to use therapeutic grade essential oils because I know that they are clean and pure and not full of chemicals. Go ahead and use whatever essential oil speaks to you, the scents that speak to you, and just sprinkle that onto the air filter with a brand new fresh one, and you will see it's pretty pungent at first, but it does kind of subside after a while. And then if you want to kind of like refresh it here and there, if you've got a party or a get together and you want that little extra oomph, then you're gonna want to just sprinkle on some essential oil, and that will solve the problem and really boost your holiday spirit, make you feel very festive. And it's so easy to do, and then it's also a good reminder to switch out your air filters. And this is something that you could do year round, switch out the scents. It's awesome. But what do you think? So for our next hack, maybe you're in a super hurry, but you need a really cute dessert. I'm gonna save you with some store-bought cupcakes, but they're gonna look really homemade. The first thing we need to do is throw them in the freezer for at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Get them nice and chilled, and the frosting hopefully a little bit hard, and you'll see why that's important. This is our bakery. I can bake cupcakes, but we're busy. We're gonna put these into the freezer for 30 minutes, maybe an hour. So we've just pulled our cupcakes out of the freezer, and what you're gonna need next are a pair of kitchen shears, because we are going to take one of our cupcakes and very carefully take our kitchen shears and cut off the frosting and set it over here on a piece of wax paper. Then you're gonna take an apple core, shove it down into the cake, pull it out. You're gonna take some raspberry pie filling, or maybe you have some raspberry jelly. I think both of those would work good. And we are going to put that on the inside of our little hole. And then we're gonna take a fresh raspberry, shove that down in there, right? You following me here? Then we're gonna take our cake, push it back in. Then we're gonna very carefully take our frosting, set it back into place, and hopefully you haven't created too much mess. We are going to embellish the top. I am going to take a couple of raspberries, put those on top. Mine's still a little frozen, but it's still gonna work. And then we're gonna take a little sprig of rosemary, or you could use mint or anything green, and push that right into our cupcake. There you go. I mean, seriously, how cute are these as is? We're gonna even take it up just a notch more by making it snow. So we're gonna make it snow with a little powdered sugar so they get that snowed on look, just a little bit at a time. How cute is that? It is seriously gonna look like you slaved over these for hours and hours, and it will be our little secret. Shh. Now that we have made this beautiful cupcake, we need something festive to wash it down with. And so for our next hack, we are gonna be making a cranberry and mint infused water. So you're gonna definitely want to do this in place, because once you put everything in there, it's gonna be super heavy. You don't wanna move it. So just place the jar where you want it. This is I think this holds like 5 gallons. So that's what we're working with. I pre-washed it to make sure it's nice and clean. And so now we're gonna start assembling. It's super easy. So I've got some ice down here. We want this super cold. It's gonna look nice and frosty. Okay, so we've got a lot of ice in there. So then we're gonna add a couple of bags of cranberries. You can even freeze these, and that will help keep the water cold as well. I didn't, I just pulled these out of the fridge. I'll put in part of another one just in case, but I think that did a good job. Okay, and then you're gonna want some fresh mint. You're gonna break these off into little sections. You don't want to put the whole stem in. That wouldn't look very aesthetic. Toss them in. And by the way, this would look really cute on those cupcakes as well. The mint, it smells wonderful. It's wonderful in water. You're not gonna taste the cranberry a whole lot, but the mint will infuse into the water and be really delightful. You can see that this is kind of looking very festive. So we'll just keep putting in this mint, and then we'll just put in the water, and then that's it. You can see how this really wants to float, so we're gonna just take a wooden spoon and just kind of stir that in. And we can add a little bit more of that mint and just keep layering it until you're happy, and it's beautiful. You let it sit, chill, and serve. Super easy, right? For my next hack, this is a good skill to have because garlands are kind of expensive, and this is a way to kind of get a Christmas garland for free. Yes, free. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go foraging in my little Florida neighborhood here for Christmas greenery. All right, so I'm in like way back in my community where they haven't really even begun to build houses yet. I've spotted some stuff that I think might work. I'm a little nervous that I've worn the wrong shoes. I'm wearing flip-flops, which is my standard issue. There are snakes. I don't know if there's any snakes here. We're gonna be careful and quick. We survived and we didn't get caught. Now, if I can forage Christmas greenery in Florida, I'm pretty sure that you can find some near you. But if not, wait for the Christmas tree lots to open. A lot of times they will cut off like the bottoms of the Christmas tree and have a lot of cutoffs. Sometimes they give those away for free. Sometimes they charge a little bit. Now that we've got all of our greenery foraged and we've clipped it and we've got a whole basket full of it, you're gonna now meet me outside and I'm gonna show you how to easily make a garland. It is a lot easier than you might think. So let's go do a garland. So we've gone foraging through my neighborhood, found some greenery. It's a little sparse, but that's okay. I don't need to show you like a big long one. You'll get the idea. So you're gonna need an assortment of greenery. I've gotten everything by foraging. At my home in Maine, I have a beautiful holly and berry bush. It's beautiful, but we're not in Maine. So the thing that I struggled with was berries, and I really think that the berries will look really good in our garland. So I've thought about using these, and the jury's still out. I may put these in. I got these at the Dollar Tree. They look very faux. Or I ended up buying at my grocery store some hypericum berries. I use these all the time in florals. I think they are so beautiful. I think that they could add kind of like that berry twist. They kind of remind me of cranberries, so I think that that would look really beautiful in our garland. The other thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need some twine. You want to cut this twine to however long you want your garland to. So I may not cut mine off until down the road, so we'll just start with this end. And then you're also going to need some wire that's kind of like on a roll and not just a segment. One that can go for a while, because this is how we are going to assemble our garland. So we're gonna have our twine and our wire, and we're gonna have it laid out. And then we're now gonna start assembling our garland, and it's a little windy here, so hopefully things don't go flying. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create bundles. And so that's kind of why I've got this assembly line, because we're gonna take little pieces and we're gonna create some bundles. Let's do the berries last. So I took some of the long kind of pine needles with some of the cedar. We can put in some of this kind of softer pine. I'm not native to Florida, so I don't know all of the technical names for a lot of these greeneries. And then of course magnolia leaves I think look beautiful in Christmas arrangements. So we've got a few different types of greenery. These are just like some seed pods from my front tree out front. I liked it because it was a little bit darker and it added a different texture. And then we can take some of our hypericum berry and I'll put that kind of on top. And then we don't need any of this excess on the bottom, so we'll just kind of rip those off. So then once we feel like we've got a bundle like we like, we're gonna start by wrapping this wire around 1, 2, 3 times or so. And then we are gonna take the end of our twine and we are going to attach that. See, and you can do actually thicker twine than this. This is just what I had on hand. And then we are going to wrap it snugly around that rope. 1, 2, 3. So we've got bundle number 1. We've got some of these that are a little bit long or kind of in the way. We can just clip those off. And then we'll just keep creating bundles. So we've got another bundle, and we haven't wrapped it with twine yet because we can just kind of place this along our rope. Leave the rope where it is. We're not going to do anything with the rope. It just is there to kind of hold it all together. So then we're going to wrap this around 3 times pretty snugly, and if you want to do it 4 times for a good measure. And then we just keep repeating this process, and this is how we are going to create our garland. Is just creating several bundles. We're going to line it up with our twine, kind of angle it the direction that we want. 1, 2, 3. You want it to be kind of what determines where everything's placed. Here's what we've got so far. Very pretty. I really do think it would look better with more traditional Christmas tree type green, so just keep that in mind. You can keep this process going for as long as you want and make it super long. I'm going to show you how to finish this off. You could just put a beautiful bow on the end and maybe like hang it downward in a garland like that. Or what we're going to do is we are going to build one last bundle. If I don't like knock everything off here, we've got our one last bundle here, and we are going to attach it to the end in the opposite direction, and there will be a hole, so just be aware of that, and we will fill in that hole. So we're just gonna wrap that on 1, 2, 3 very snugly, maybe even a 4th. And we're not gonna snip the wire yet because, as you can see, we've got this kind of weird thing going on here. And the way we're gonna fix that is just wiring in individual pieces until we are happy with the look. So we'll put in some more of this greenery kind of in different directions, wrapping it around. We don't want to get too crazy and make it like weird thick, but we do want to fill in that hole. So just keep working on it until It feels nice. And honestly, if you needed to break out your hot glue gun, wouldn't be the end of the world. But I think we can get the job done with just wiring things. And then when you are happy with it, cut off a little extra. We're now detached from our wire, and then just kind of wind that through. And there you go. And then, of course, make sure you cut off your twine. There you go. And our garland's not very long, but it will look great on my dining room table. So here is our beautiful, mostly foraged garland that we made ourselves. Super easy. For our next hack, if you're in need of like a really cute centerpiece, but you don't have a lot of time, or maybe you don't have a lot of floral arranging experience, but you still want something that's cute and festive, this next hack is for you. And it's very similar to kind of what we just did with the infused water. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take some more of those cranberries and some Christmas greens, or if you don't have access to Christmas greens, you could use some rosemary. You are gonna take a little vase or a large one, depending on like how big you want to do it. You could really make a good sized one. You're gonna fill it up with water, put in more of those cranberries and Christmas greenery, whatever that looks like for you. There's a lot of flexibility in this hack. And then you're gonna stick in some floating candles. Then light them. And it gives such a beautiful ambiance and a beautiful centerpiece for your holiday party or display. It's a really nice vibe. It's such an easy thing, so beautiful, so easy, and pretty much no skill required. Hack number 7 is having an emergency gift stash. You know we've all been there. You get a knock on the door close to Christmas time, that was a really good knock. And then you open the door and somebody has a gift for you and you're like, oh crap, I forgot this person. Well, that's not gonna happen to us this year because we are going to get a few things. You're gonna have a few homemade gems or jellies. You're gonna have some handmade soaps, a really cute candle, something very thoughtful and feels like you really spent a lot of time thinking about it, even though you may have forgotten. If you simply don't have time, because I know we're all busy, if you can stop by like a farmer's market or something like that, we can shop a little local. It's really personal and meaningful, and just have some ready to go in gift bags, ready to grab. Let's not get caught off guard. Let's have an emergency gift stash. This next hack is so much fun because it's so easy and it creates instant decor, like in the matter of a snap. So all you need is a pillar candle, like a real one, and all you're gonna do is you are gonna take a holiday napkin. So we have a napkin here that I got off of Amazon because there's not a whole lot of Christmas in general in any of the stores right now. We just want to see where we need to cut the napkin down, and then we are going to cut it down to size. Then we're going to just separate the napkin so it's just the top layer of napkin, and then we're gonna wrap it around the candle. And then we're gonna take a hot blow dryer, which will melt the wax and infuse the napkin into the candle wax. The seam area is a little tricky because the blow dryer wants to blow it all around, so you may want to take some rubber bands to hold it into place and use some clear Scotch tape while you do this, but eventually we will get the job done. Now, just think of all the different ways you can use this idea. You can do it for every season. You could even throw this in your emergency gift stash. If you want like a festive way to fold a napkin for your holiday dinner, maybe your Christmas dinner or whatnot, I'm gonna now show you how to fold a Christmas tree napkin. everyone, there you have a very cute Christmas tree napkin. Whatever color you want. Mine was green, but you know, you could do red or whatever color works for your decor. And you can even put like a little poinsettia on top or a Christmas star to really finish it off just as a little embellishment. Super cute. We are going to be making a poinsettia napkin ring out of a shower curtain ring from Dollar Tree. These are going to be super cheap, super easy to put together. So in this case, all you're gonna do is take one of those crystal clear shower rings that you can get from Dollar Tree, and you're gonna glue the poinsettia of your choice to the top of it. And that's it, you can call it a day here. Or you could upgrade it just a little bit by first wrapping around some Greenery garland that you can also pick up at the Dollar Tree. It's like the little green twist ties. I'm just gonna wrap it all the way around and then attach your poinsettia to the top with some hot glue. And then you can even add some little embellishments with some glittery berries or other berries. And this hack is really great because you could use it any time of year. And then these end up being, you know, anywhere from 35 cents to 50 cents a napkin ring, and it really adds a really pretty touch to your holiday table. So you want a dessert that has a wow factor, but you're short on time, this is a good hack for you. So you're gonna go to the store, you're gonna get some pre-made brownie bites. Now you can use the box kind and cut them out in little circles, but if you're in a time crunch, buying those little brownie bites will save you a little time. And then what you're gonna do is get a tub of Cool Whip. And then the way I did it was I actually took some vanilla pudding and mixed it into the Cool Whip. I started with a spatula, then I switched to a whisk because I felt like that mixed it in a little bit better. But if I were to go back and do this again, I would probably take the pudding and dissolve it in a little bit of milk just so that it gets some of that grittiness out. It was fine, but I think that that would get you an even better result. You don't want to use too much milk because the idea is to have this more of the consistency of frosting. You don't want it to be like too thin because you want it to have some substance to it. Then I took a little piping bag that I pick up at the Dollar Tree. They sell now. It's awesome. And I stick that in a cup and I filled up our pudding frosting made out of Cool Whip. And then you cut off the tip and then you can just pipe some onto the top of the brownie. Then you're gonna take some strawberries that you've washed and cut off the green part. And so it's nice and flat and it kind of has the shape of a Santa hat. And you put that on top of your piped Cool Whip. And then you can just pipe a little dot on the top of the hat, and then you have the most festive brownies ever. So cute, and they actually taste really good. My husband had them and he approved. They are super, super good, super easy to put together, but have such a festive holiday feel. And so if you're looking for an easy dessert, hopefully this hack will help you out. For our next holiday hack, we are gonna make a simple no-sew Santa pillow. You know, if you watch my channel, I'm a huge advocate for sewing, but sometimes you just want a quick little trick, and this is what we're gonna do. Is I got a pillow cover at Hobby Lobby, just a red one. It was like $4.99, and I put it over an existing pillow I already had. Now we're gonna zhuzh it up to make it a Santa theme. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of this white faux fur ribbon that I also picked up at Hobby Lobby, and we are going to wrap it around our pillow and we are gonna pin it. You can pin it either on the bottom or the back side, whichever is easiest. This is a piece that you can use again in the future. And then we're gonna take a second piece of ribbon And this is just like a black grosgrain ribbon, 3 inches wide. Mine's not quite long enough. I thought I had a little longer piece, but it's okay, we'll make this one work. The idea is to wrap it around the entirety of the pillow and safety pin that into place. We're gonna just pin it where it ends and it'll be okay for this because it will be on the back side, you won't even notice. Then you're gonna take a Dollar Tree frame in gold, or you can use silver, and you're gonna take out all of the center part and the glass and just get rid of it. Then you're gonna take a little bit of glue. I'm gonna use hot glue in this case, but you could use E6000 and just glue it to the black grosgrain ribbon. And that's it. In less than 5 minutes, you have the most adorable pillow that will be really cute this holiday season. And you didn't need a sewing machine, even though I'm still a fan of sewing. And isn't it just so cute? I love this. Super, super easy, so fun. For this next hack, it's just getting a little bit of those holiday smells and vibes. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some cinnamon sticks and put them around this candle. This one's kind of like a cozy vanilla candle, and then cinnamon. Those are a good combination for holiday season, right? So there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You could heat up the candle with a blow dryer, get the wax a little melty, and then stick them on that way. I didn't really want to do that. You can just wrap it in some double-sided stick tape and get it kind of stuck in place. Attach your cinnamon sticks on the outskirts of your candle, and then we're gonna just take some fun twine, wrap it around, tie a cute little bow, put it on a cute little display stand and light it, and there you go, boom. A really cute candle to bring in some of that holiday vibe. You could do several of them down the center of your table and make it a whole thing. You can do them different sizes. So there's a lot of flexibility in this. It's super easy to do, and it does bring in those holiday aromas, the cinnamons, the vanillas, and all of that. So I hope you enjoyed that hack. Okay, so now that we've played with fire, let's cool things down a little bit and play with a little ice. And what we're gonna do is I found this cool square ice cube tray. So the idea is I took some pomegranate seeds. You could use cranberries, you could use raspberries, just something red. And then I coupled it with some fresh mint, and I put those inside an ice tray with water and froze them. Super easy, right? Well, after you freeze them for a few hours, then you pull them out and put them in a pitcher of water. You can put them in a glass, and you could serve it with a cocktail or whatnot, but it just adds a fun holiday flair. Now you could also, in lieu of the mint, you could use some rosemary, whatever you want to do. The idea is like a red berry and some kind of greenery that gives the feeling of holly and berry for the holiday season. So I just think this is a lot of fun to do. It looks really cute in a picture, and as it unfreezes, it still looks beautiful. So I couldn't find any cranberries. I did want to try some of these hacks with cranberries, but it's a little early still. But isn't this a fun way to serve a drink? Now in our next hack, I have another fun way to have a holiday drink. For this next hack, you are gonna need some of those clear Christmas ornaments. The ones that I got actually had a really pretty iridescence to them. I liked that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna serve, you can serve like any kind of fun drink that you want. You can turn it into a cocktail, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna take either a martini glass or a margarita glass and put your ornament in there. Then you can take a funnel out, because you might need the help of it so you don't make a mess, and you can put some berries in there. I did the pomegranates again, but I also think the cranberries would look beautiful. You might not need the funnel for that. You can just squeeze those right through the top of the ornament one by one. And then you can throw in this case, I did rosemary in this one. It doesn't alter the drink taste too much. I mean, I didn't notice it. I tried it out and it was good. And then I filled mine with some Sprite, but you can do like whatever you want for the drink. I've seen it like cranberry juice or something fun. Then you want to keep it chilled. And so I went to the store and got some nugget ice because I just thought that would be really pretty, but you could get some crunched up ice out of your ice maker, and you put that in the bottom of your either margarita or martini glass and fill that up with ice, and you put the ornament drink on top of the ice. That keeps it chilled, and then you can put a fun red and white striped straw in there to keep it really festive and look kind of like a candy cane. You could embellish the outside a little bit if you wanted by putting an actual candy cane. There's a lot of little fun ways you can spice this up, but I hope it gets your wheels spinning. And then I went ahead and popped the ornament holder back in, and it kind of pinched the straw in place. But it's such a fun little festive way to have a drink during the holiday season with having it out of a Christmas ornament. Why not? So during the holidays, we are going to be hopefully entertaining now that things are starting to feel a little bit more normal, and you're gonna wanna keep your food chilled. So this is for that one. I found this cookie sheet at Dollar Tree that's just one of their throwaway ones, and I filled it up with water and I froze it for several hours. I didn't keep track. I just put it in one night and picked it out the next morning, and it was frozen. Then I took 2 of their like cake pan dishes. They come in a 2-pack, and I put some pasta and some pistachio salad just to give you the visual of how this worked. And the idea is you can set these right on top of the sheet of ice, keep your food cool while you're serving it. It actually will stay frozen for quite a while, and so it will keep that food that is meant to be chilled nice and cool and fresh. And so that's the idea behind that, and it's super easy. So here's a really quick holiday hack for you. Maybe you have a regular simple wreath, it's just green wreath that you want to spice up a little bit. Well, cowbells are just a fun addition. You can find them all over the place. I've seen them at Walmart, I've seen them at Home Goods, I've seen them all over. Pick up some cowbells, attach it to the middle of your wreath, maybe even take some simple holiday ribbon that matches your decor, tie it on. It doesn't need to be like overly elaborate to have a really wonderful feel. And you can have an awesome wreath that you've put a little love into, but it hasn't taken you a ton of time. So I hope that quick little tip helps you out. Okay, so this next hack is very similar to one I did in the fall, where I used some candy corn to fill up a vase, and I put in some foliage to kind of give a really simple, elegant centerpiece or decor item. And we're gonna kind of repeat this. So you could repeat this in several different seasons. So just keep a little mental note and put that in your back pocket. But the first thing you're gonna do is take a jar or a glass and place that inside another more attractive jar. And then you fill in the space in that little gap area full of candy. And so you can use gumdrops, you can do candy canes, you can do peppermints, and then when you got it full to where you like it, then you can fill it full of Christmas greenery with some berries. You could do anything that kind of has that Christmas flair, and try to find candy that maybe matches your decor. If you're doing traditional color, you could take Hershey Kisses with red and green wrappers on it and layer them up. Or you can do the peppermints. You can find white fluffy marshmallows. I don't know, but this really does have a lot of flexibility, but don't be surprised if little hands sneak in and pull out the tree as you go. Just expect it, plan on it, it's okay. And then just have some back on hand to fill as you need to, but it's an edible and fun arrangement, and I hope it helps bring a little holiday into your lives this holiday season. Next hack is just taking a simple popsicle stick, taking some fun wood stickers that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree, gluing them to the top of the popsicle stick, and some of them have snowflakes, some of them have Christmas trees on them. It doesn't really matter, but they make really excellent hot cocoa little stir sticks. And it's just something a little bit more fun and festive than a simple spoon. You could just do this for yourself, just to have those and feel festive on a nightly basis as you have your hot cocoa every night. Doesn't everybody have hot cocoa every night? Super, super easy. And then you leave it in there to keep stirring it as you go, and it feels festive, it's fun, and super simple. Now that we have our cocoa, we need our next holiday hack, which is a knockoff of a Pottery Barn coaster. So what I did is I went to Hobby Lobby and I found some cork coaster rounds, and I felt like they were a little bit flimsy on their own, so I stacked a couple of them together, used a little bit of glue to get them stuck together. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of this scrapbook paper that I also picked up at Hobby Lobby. Make sure you get it on 50% off, always get it on sale. And then I traced out our coasters onto this scrapbook paper and cut them out. Then we're gonna take it outside and spray a little spray glue to the back side of that and attach it to our cork coasters. But it's paper, so we need to seal it so it doesn't get all nasty. And so you're gonna wanna do several coats of, I used a Mod Podge spray, but you can use any kind of varnish, but just do like 2 or 3 coats. Make sure it has a really good seal on it before you actually use it. We don't want to get any weird water rings. Then you have a really cute coaster for your holiday season. Now you can use this at a dinner party. You could just use these in your house, but it's just kind of fun to have some really cute festive coasters around. So from some of my other holiday hack videos, you will know that I like little shortcuts that make something look bougie and handmade, but maybe not. So this time I decided to tackle a store-bought cake, like a birthday cake or something that you would find in the bakery on any given day, and turn it into something that looks super special and festive. So this is what I did. So I actually got this from the freezer section at my grocery store. It's not an ice cream cake. You want to make sure it's not that. It's a regular cake. It just happens to be frozen, and you want to keep it frozen because I think this next part is going to be much easier if you do that. You're going to want to have a plate and a paper towel, some water. If you've got frosting knife like this, that will be really good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna very carefully deconstruct this cake. I think we are gonna take a little bit sharper knife. This works much better, like I said, when it's frozen. And you're just gonna take off the excess. On the cake that I bought, it actually had a really cool design on the side, and I really wanted to try to keep that intact. If you can't, then just repeat the process that we're gonna do on top on the side, but I was really trying to keep that really cool groove on the side of my cake, and so I was very careful around the bottom to cut that off very carefully. Then you're gonna wanna do a little cleanup around the rim on the little paper liner and all of that, and once you have it looking like, it's gonna be a little bit rough around the edges at this point once you've got all of the stuff cut off, but then you can take your frosting knife, get it a little bit wet, and use that to smooth out the existing frosting. Okay, so we have now a blank white cake. Now I'm just gonna say up front, if you could get a blank white cake from your bakery, that's probably the better place to start. But if you can't and nobody's in the bakery and you just need to snag something, you can see that you can get a blank slate fairly easily. So here we go. Now we're gonna turn it into Christmas. So all you're gonna need is some red cranberries. You could also use raspberries or maybe even cherries, but I think cranberries have a really berry vibe. And then you're gonna take some rosemary sprigs, and we're gonna kind of create a faux wreath by just making a ring out of the rosemary sprigs and then sprinkling on some cranberries. Now, I froze my cranberries. I don't know that I would recommend that now that I've done it, because it really helps. Once it starts to thaw out, it's gonna mess up with the next part, which is once you've got it looking the way you want it to look, then you're gonna just take some powdered sugar and dust the entire top of it, which makes it feel so festive, like there's snow on it. Super, super cute. If you wanted to repeat some of the berries and the sprigs of rosemary around the base of it, you could do that. You could also wrap a ribbon around the base. I liked mine as is because it had that detailing on the outside. I just kind of left it alone. And then you can take a knife and slide it off of the paper thing that it comes into and actually onto a cake plate. So everybody will think that you slaved hours and hours over this cake, and they won't know. It will be our little secret, but it looks so cute, right? And it didn't take much time. It looks super high-end, like you got a fancy bakery or you slaved over it. It looks so fun, so festive and cute, and I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to be doing a frozen luminary, and what you're going to need is some berries and some Christmas greenery. So that could be fresh or that could be faux, whatever you have on hand. I just gathered some red berries, not real, just fake, and some fake pine needles. You clip them apart, you pop the little pieces off, and you're going to take 2 round containers. It could be a square container, whatever you want, and there just needs to be a certain amount of gap in between. On mine, it was about an inch thick, maybe, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Just remember that if you're gonna do it thicker, you're gonna need to allow a little more time for freezing. The first thing you're gonna do is line your bottom if you want some of the greenery on the bottom. You don't really see it, but it does kind of like poke out to the edges, so just keep that in mind. So I took a plastic throwaway container that I had and a plastic cup, because that seemed like a good distance, and then I put that plastic cup on top of the greenery that we added to the bottom, and then I proceeded to stuff some greenery around the edges. And then you're gonna fill that outer ring with some water. Now, you're gonna wanna tape the center cup to the outer cup and to hold it into place. And then you're gonna set this into the freezer for about 6 to 8 hours. You may want to leave it overnight. The thicker it is, it may need a little bit longer time, so just keep that in mind. Once it's totally frozen, you're gonna pull it out, and then you're gonna just try to warm up the outside. The easiest way to do this is maybe dunking it in some warm water and maybe putting some warm water in that center cup, and that will help release those cups. You may want to use things that you don't mind damaging. Mine didn't get damaged, so just keep that in mind. Now, before you use it, if you've used the warm water, you may want to throw it back into the freezer for another 30 minutes just to kind of freeze it up. And then you could put a little tea light or a votive in there, depending on what you've done size-wise, and light that. And it would be a really cute accent for a centerpiece. You could do several of them on a long table, and it's just an adorable and festive touch. It has that holiday frosty factor, and it's simple and anybody can do this, but it has such a really cool vibe, and I hope that you enjoy that holiday hack. So I don't know if you've noticed my fun little snowflake earrings, but that is what we're gonna do for our next holiday hack, which is just taking little ornaments that you can find around and turning them into cute earrings. This is something that I like to do around the holiday season because it is so affordable and so cute, and it might actually make a really good gift idea as well. This started out being little wood snowflake that I picked up at Hobby Lobby in a pack of 10. So you could actually technically get like 5 pairs of earrings for $1, right? Well, just over, because you're gonna need to get the little ear hooks. But what I did is I took my crocodile and just popped a hole on the edge of one of these snowflakes. It's super easy. If you don't have a crocodile, you can take a drill and just drill a little hole into the wood earrings. I like these. These are super lightweight, and they don't weigh down, but they really pack a punch and make a cute, fun little statement. So then all you need to do is take your earring hook that you can pick up at any craft store and thread it through your hole, and boom, that's it. Instant earrings from some little embellishments. I've seen faux wood Christmas trees. I've also done the same idea with some poinsettias last year. So there's a lot of options. It makes a great gift idea and super affordable, cute, easy jewelry. I hope you like that. I certainly like these. I think they're really fun and cute. Okay, so these next couple of hacks are gonna deal with the Christmas tree. The first one is if you have a Christmas tree and you want to expand the amount of light that is on it, you want it to look like it has more Christmas lights on it than it really does, just take some little tiny round craft mirrors that are super affordable and glue it to some pipe cleaner that's green. And then I would probably do it double-sided, but you don't have to. And then what you're gonna do is slide it underneath the light, twist tie it onto each of the branches, and the mirror will reflect the original light and it will increase the amount of twinkle lights that are on your Christmas tree. Very simple and easy to do, and it just lights it up and is a little fun little hack there for you. So I hope you liked that. With that in mind, our next hack is cute, but it's actually more with safety in mind. So if you have pets or little crawling babies or toddlers, sometimes the Christmas tree can cause a little bit of fret and a little bit of worry, especially if it's a little bit taller. So this hack is more about safety. But you can make it cute as well. So what you're gonna do is get a whole bunch of little jingle bells and you're gonna thread them through and you're gonna twist tie them in that same green pipe cleaner to the base of your branches and get it all over the place. So anytime little paws or little hands touch or tug on those branches, it rings a bell, and the idea is that it will notify you that your little one or your little fur baby is playing with a Christmas tree, and hopefully will prevent any mishaps. So hopefully that will help some of you out this Christmas and holiday season. So for our next hack, it could be in addition to this hack, but also different direction as well. So the idea for this one is making the heavier ornaments a little bit more secure to your tree. Rather than hanging them with a traditional little hook that you get, instead switching out that hook for more of that green twist tie. And that way you can twist tie it onto your branches so it's much more secure. This is particularly helpful, especially if you have glass ornaments that you don't want to accidentally get bumped and shattered. It seems like Christmas trees inevitably get bumped from time to time during Christmas season. In fact, once I saw one get pulled all the way over, knocked all the way over. It was so, oh dear, I felt so bad. It was not mine, but this just prevents any kind of breaking ornaments, and so that will be helpful. Now you can see in this one I used a giant jingle bell ball, so you could kind of couple that in to the last one that I did, and it's a little bit larger jingle bell ball, so if your little hands are tugging, you can really hear it. So I hope that that is helpful to you this holiday season. I have a couple of curious Georges, and they want to find out what they're getting for Christmas early. So this next hack is to kind of help throw them off or maybe prevent some of that. Rather than using name tags on your gifts, you could just assign each individual quietly to yourself a specific wrapping paper. So you can wrap it up and assign each one of your children a specific wrapping paper color. They don't know which it is, and you want to switch it up every year, and then they don't know which one's which, and hopefully that will help prevent any curiosity. Now, it's not going to prevent them from unwrapping all of them. I know that when I was a kid, I may or may not have mischievously unwrapped some presents and then rewrapped them. I'm sure my parents had no idea. But hopefully that helps you out a little bit. For this next holiday hack, we are going to be making a very simple wassail. Now this is a wassail that I grew up on in my house, and it's so simple, so easy, but it's really good. So I just thought I would share it with you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some 100% apple juice and you're going to mix it with some red hots. Now red hots are getting a little bit harder to come by. I did find them at Family Dollar and Dollar General, but I didn't find them like at the grocery store or something like that. So I just wanted to give you a little tip of where you can maybe find them. Then you're going to take an orange and slice it up, and then you're going to put it all in a pot and bring it to a boil, and then bring it down to a low simmer. Now the ratios are going to kind of depend on how spicy you like it and how cinnamony you like it, but it's so easy and it melts up really quickly, so you could just do a little bit at a time. Here I used about a half of a box of red hots with a half a gallon of apple juice and then a couple of slices of orange, and it's really good. It's festive, and on top of it, it smells really good, so you've got like the whole simmer pot idea going on, but it's so good, and I hope you enjoy it this holiday season. Smells so good. This This next one is gonna be even easier. If you don't wanna do like the slicing of the oranges or the lemons and adding cinnamon sticks and all of that, here's a really easy and inexpensive way to get the aroma of Christmas into your house. All you're gonna need is some Bengal spice, herbal tea, and some water. And you're gonna bring the water to a boil, throw a couple of the tea bags right into the water and let it simmer on a low simmer. And I promise you, your house is gonna smell amazing. It's so simple, but it definitely screams Christmas. Now, I've had a lot of you suggest on my past simmer pots using like a small little potpourri crock pot. I love that idea. I haven't been able to find one in the stores, but that's definitely on my purchase list because I think what it does is it will make it last a little bit longer and you don't have to worry about it burning out. But if you don't have a little mini crock pot, you could definitely do this on the stove in a little pan, bring it down to a low simmer and just keep your eye on it. But it really does get the Christmas scent in there in a flash for very inexpensive. So I hope that helps you. Okay, so for this next holiday hack, this is really for you. Those of you who really enjoy decorating the outside of your home with Christmas lights. I have to be honest, I spend a lot of time decorating the interior, but I really don't do a whole lot other than like a wreath and maybe some fun, cute stuff around the door. I don't light up my whole house, but I really do enjoy people who do that. And I really do love going around and looking at all of the Christmas lights. So this next hack is for those of you who do light up your houses for the holiday season and a way to protect your cords from shorting out. So the idea is you get a Tupperware dish and you just clip out a little bit of the holes on the sides so that you can then place where your like if you have to run an extension cord and you need to connect the extension cord to another extension cord, this will protect it from getting moisture. So you set the two connected extension cords into the Tupperware bin, put the lid on nice and tight, and then it's protected, doesn't get moisture in it, and it keeps it hopefully a little bit safer. So I hope that helps all of you that do the lights. I hope that helps you this holiday season. I'm always trying to find fun ways to fold napkins that are creative and different, and this one I just absolutely love. And this is a new one. For those of you who've watched some of these episodes in the past, we are gonna make a carrot napkin. So what you're gonna need is an orange colored napkin, and it's gonna be folded in quarters. And then you're gonna make a little like teepee with it. So you're gonna fold it in on itself in thirds on a triangle. And then you're gonna take that little tip and fold it down and tuck it in on itself. And then you're gonna flip it over, and then you've got the bottom part of a carrot, but you need like little stems or greenery. So this part I thought was a lot of fun, but you could switch it out for the greenery you like. I took some fresh rosemary and tucked that down in there with a couple of breadsticks. I thought that was super cute, but you could use fake greenery if you want to, like the Dollar Tree stuff would be super cute in there as well. Put it on your plate. It is so adorable, really brings in that spring vibe. I absolutely love it, and I hope you do too. All right, I love a good simple arrangement that becomes a conversation piece, and I love this one because it's so easy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit wider of a vase that's cylinder in fashion, and then you're gonna put another one inside that. And then you're gonna take some carrots. I like the ones that have a little bit of the stem on it, and you're gonna fill in the crack all the way around with those carrots, and then you're gonna fill that up with water. And if you're using fresh flowers, you can fill up the center with water as well. I'm using some Real Touch tulips because I had them on hand, but you can use the fresh stuff as well. But these ones look so realistic, so I didn't need the water. So I just set them down in the middle of this vase. It was so easy, less than 5 minutes to do, and you have a really themed out spring arrangement, very simple to do. Anybody could do this. I promise you, you got this, and everybody will think that you're like a professional floral designer. So I hope you enjoyed that. So I've been a little hyper aware of toxins and toxic chemicals lately, and so I have a super simple hand soap recipe for you. So what you're gonna need to do is some kind of glass soap pump or a dark amber colored soap dispenser. And in that, you are gonna put 1/4 cup of liquid Castile soap, and that's W-A-S-T-I-L-E. And then you're gonna add 1 3/4 cup of distilled water, or water that you've boiled and let cool, because that will work as well. And then you're gonna pour that into your dispenser and then kind of mix it around a little bit. This is up to you, but for the spring season, or any season for that matter, you are going to want to put some essential oils. Now, I got this little summer set that has some really yummy scents, and it has the ocean breeze, plumeria, peach, strawberry, pina colada, coconut. They have a lot of different seasons. I've also gotten like the autumn one and winter before. So just use the essential oils that you love. There are a lot of really good essential oils out there. And then I would recommend doing about 25 to 30 in the soap. Put the lid on good, then shake it up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't overflow and explode on you. But then you have an all-natural soap that smells amazing and doesn't have all those nasty chemicals and like hormone disruptors and all that stuff. And we've used that Castile soap to make our homemade cleaners as well. And then if you want to, you can add a cute label on the front of yours. I have created one that is for free. You can print it off on my website, print it out on sticker paper, cut it down, stick it on the front of your jar, or do whatever kind of labeling you want. You can break out your Cricut machine, whatever you would like, and label your soap if you so choose, and add a little decorative element. I'm obsessed. I love it, and it smells every bit as good, if not better, than all the stuff in the stores without the nasty chemicals. Okay, so here's a simple linen spray that you can scent seasonally to really bring in those aromas from fall to spring to summer, all of them. We're putting it in spring just because I thought that would be fun, but you could really customize this for any season, and I love that. So the recipe is 1/3 cup of rubbing alcohol, or you can use vodka, and then you put that in a spray bottle, 16 ounces. Then you fill it up with distilled or boiled water like we've been using in other recipes, and then 30 to 40 drops of your favorite essential oils. Once again, put on the lid, shake it up, and you have a very simple, easy, and affordable linen spray. I mean, really, really inexpensive. You can get rubbing alcohol at the dollar store, and then just some water and some essential oils, and you have a way to spray down your bedding, your sofa, and all of that in a non-toxic way, and I love that. That is not me judging anybody. I have totally used the Downy and all of that in the past. I've just kind of gotten weird lately because of some health issues I've had, so I've gotten a little extreme on that. So, well, not so extreme. I'm working on it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that linen spray, and I know I do, and I hope you do too. Okay, so for our home hack for spring, we are going to invite spring in with a scent. And I've got a simmer pot for you that's designed to smell like spring. So I really hope you enjoy this. You're gonna start with a pot of water. Now, I got a lot of suggestions from you to get a mini crock pot for my simmer pots. And so I took that up and I got this one, and I have to say, it is better if you really like to do simmer pots, because you can set it and forget about it, and then you don't have to worry about the water boiling off and all of that. Now, if you don't have one of these mini crock pots, you can still feel free to do it in a pot. That's how I've been doing it. Just need to watch it and make sure you turn down the temperature and add water as needed. So to that pot, we are gonna add a couple of sprigs of thyme. And I might have went a little heavy on this one, but you just need a couple of sprigs. The recipe calls for a handful of mint, so whatever that means to you. And then you're gonna slice a couple of limes and put that in as well. Because I wanted the mintiness, because I really love mint, I added a little bit of mint extract, and then I also added half a cup of vanilla that I got from Dominican Republic. You don't need to use Dominican Republic vanilla, but just some kind of vanilla. And these ratios are kind of, you know, forgiving. You don't need to get out your measuring spoons or anything. I just kind of eyeballed what I thought. And then you set it on high at first, and then once it gets going, you can turn it back to either warm or low or whatever you want. And I have to say, this really does smell like spring. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it in here. If you could bottle up spring, I think it would smell a lot like this. And so I hope you enjoy that summer pot. Our next home hack is a really simple and easy gift bag idea that is so cute and very springy. Easter-ish. All you're gonna need is a paper bag. Now, I had some white ones that I picked up at Walmart and I've had them for years. I didn't even have to go pick them up, but you could use a brown paper bag as well. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take that bag, fold it kind of lengthwise, and you're gonna do kind of a curved triangle right on that folded edge. And what we're trying to mimic here is the look of Easter bunny ears. And so we just do it on that center section, and then that's it. And then on the back of the bag, and you could do this on the front if you wanted to, but I decided to really go in with the Easter bunny theme here. I took a little fuzzy ball that I picked up from the Dollar Tree in I think it's like a 10 or 12 pack. There's a lot in there. And then I just hot glued that to the bottom of the back of the bag, or near the bottom. And so super cute little bunny tail is what we've got. Then you're gonna put whatever goodies or whatever gift or whatever you want to go into that bag. And then you're gonna take a beautiful ribbon of your choosing, whatever color you'd like, and tie a simple knot. As you're kind of cinching that in, you want to be careful and make sure that you're forming it into those kind of bunny ears that we're going for. And then to further embellish it, I just took a rose from a Dollar Tree bush, very simple, and hot glued that into place. But you could also just kind of tuck it down in there if you wanted to. But since I already had my hot glue gun out, I just glued it into place, and there you have it. A very simple but very cute springy / Easter gift bag. How adorable is this, right? And you could change the size of it if you had a little bit larger bag. I just love this, and I think it's so cute, so easy to do, and I hope you enjoyed that hack. So for our next hack, you know I love to zhuzh up store-bought or bakery-bought cupcakes and cakes and turn them into something custom that looks like you got it at a high-end bakery or that you slaved hours for. We're all busy, so we need a couple of shortcuts. So this time I got a Valentine's cake. Now let me caveat this with, if you can get a plain white cake from the bakery and you plan ahead, that's the way to go for sure. I'm always doing it kind of spur of the moment, last minute, and they need more time. So this is for those of you who are like me. The first thing we're gonna do is put our cake into the freezer, and then we're gonna let it sit there for at least 30 minutes, but you can leave it in for a couple of hours. We're gonna pull it out of the freezer, and then you're left with something like this. All of the icing and decorations are frozen. So we can take a sharp knife and start to cut off all of the stuff. Now this time around, at your suggestion, I got some extra icing from the bakery. It was ready to go. I didn't even have to ask them for it, but if you're around there and they don't have it out, just ask for some extra icing. This will help with touch-ups. So we're gonna clean that up as good as we can. Have a glass of water there, sharp knife, paper towels. We're gonna scrape off as much as possible. Try to leave some of that decorative details if it has that, if you can. That will just make it look all the more custom. Then I used that under scraped off layer as like a crumb coat, if you will, and then I generously wiped on some more frosting, and I was very generous with that. And then I took out some shredded coconut, and we are going to sprinkle the entire outside with this shredded coconut. It will give a nice fluffy bunny-esque feel. So onto this white frosting, very, very cute. Now we're gonna add some bunny ears, and this is so simple. So at Michael's, I picked up some wire that already had some like raffia wrapped around it, so it was already kind of like brown rope, but you could take some like a wire coat hanger and maybe wrap some jute around it and cover it up. This one was ready to go, which I loved. And so all you're gonna do is take these wires that I picked up at Michael's and fold them in half, making sure to make a point, and then you're going to kind of bend them into bunny ears. And so you're gonna need two, since we're doing bunny ears, and then I kind of twisted them together a little bit at the bottom. And then because I wasn't sure if like the raffia would like get weird, or maybe I want to use these in the future, I don't know. I took some press and seal saran wrap and wrapped the bottoms of those ears, and then I just shoved them into the top of our cake. to emulate bunny ears. It's so cute. So at this point, I wanted to zhuzh it up a little bit more and really bring in the spring. And you could do whatever flowers you want, because I've seen these type of things like all over Pinterest. You'll see lots of variations of this idea. So this is not an original idea, but I just thought it was really cute, and I'm just showing you how to do it to a store-bought cake and make it look awesome. So then we're gonna take 3 tulips, and these are the Real Touch tulips that I like to buy off of Amazon. They're beautiful. I have a whole bunch of them in white, and I also have a whole bunch of them in my stash already from past episodes in pink, and I just thought that they would look super cute. And they were already cut down to size, so I just took 3 of those, and then I proceeded to wrap the stems of those in the saran wrap as well and pushed those down into our cake. But you could use fresh. There's no rule that you couldn't use fresh flowers, but you want to make sure that you're doing it right before you're gathering, because I'm sure they won't last very long. Anyways, I absolutely love how this turned out. If you're having a baby shower or a wedding shower or even a wedding and it's in the spring, I think this would look really, really cute for that. Obviously, it would look really cute as a dessert for your Easter dinner or just any event, just to have it. It is so cute. I love how this turned out, and I hope it got your wheels spinning and that you can customize it for a look that works for you. Terracotta pots are already orange, but for this next one, I took a saucer and a terracotta pot, and I wanted them to be a little bit more orange, like a little more carrot-like. And so I just took some chalk paint and chalk painted the exterior of both of these items. I did 2 to 3 coats just because I wanted it to not bleed through. You could leave it as is. I'm just saying, you don't have to do this part. You could also paint the carrot in a white color if you want it to kind of match in your, oh, that was a little Freudian slip. We're making a little carrot jar. I hadn't told you that yet, but there we go. You could paint it white if it works better in your decor. And so then it's dry. This is so simple, you guys. The next thing I did is I took some Dollar Tree greenery, this like fern-like stuff that you've seen. It's always at the Dollar Tree. I feel like I've never seen them out of this stuff. And then I just cut it off the stems and cut it down a little bit shorter. And then I used some hot glue and a lot of hot glue to kind of hold it into place. You could use some E6000 if you wanted to, but this little saucer is very, very light. And if you use the Gorilla Hot Glue, it will hold up, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you just put it on the top as if it were like the top of a carrot, and that's it. And then you take the saucer, put it on top of the terracotta pot, and boom, you have a really cute carrot pot, if you will, that you could put Easter goodies in or just have it out for display. It's super cute. Really brings in those garden vibes that just has like that spring vibe to me. I guess carrots don't come until later in the season, but for whatever reason, carrots are associated with spring. So I just love this for the spring season, and I hope you liked it too. This next hack is one that I've done in previous seasonal hacks. It's so simple. I'm just doing the spring version of it. We've done, I think, a fall and a Christmas one. I don't remember what we've done, but basically you're gonna take a clear vase, a beautiful one that you have, and then you're gonna take a second vase and set that on the inside of that vase. Then you're gonna fill it up with whatever you want. In my case, I'm filling it up with jelly beans. I could only find them at the Dollar Tree, so I had to buy a lot of bags. There's probably a more economical way to do this, but you could do those chocolate covered one with a pretty silver foil. You could do just have a bigger space and gap and use your decorative eggs. That would be beautiful as well. So just fill it up with spring-like stuff. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna fill it up with the floral or branches of your choice. I got a couple of these bushes at Hobby Lobby of lavender, only because I don't have anything that seems springy, and lavender to me seems springy. And so 3 bunches fit in the center of this, looks great. But you could go cut branches off of your apple tree, you could peach tree or whatever is blossoming, and put that in the center and not spend any money. You can go out to your garden, whatever works for you. I bought mine you can do that too. Nobody's judging. And there you have it. Just a simple, beautiful spring-like arrangement that is easy and you can switch out with all of the seasons. It's so much fun. It's so easy to do. Anybody can do this, even if you don't have any floral arranging experience. You got this. And that's kind of the idea with the hacks. Quick, easy things that pretty much anybody can do. Keeping on theme with the lavender and kind of like an arrangement idea, I had some lavender from the Dollar Tree from years. I bought it last spring and it's just been sitting there, and now is the time to use it. You're gonna also get another one of those shorter Dollar Tree hurricane vases, and all we're gonna do is clip off. I think I used a total of 4 bushes. Again, if you have fresh lavender, that would totally be the way to go because it would smell so good, so spring-like. So if you got the fresh stuff, definitely go for it. If not, then go get the Dollar Tree stuff. Clip those all off. I started out by hot gluing them into place because I know that hot glue will eventually, you can easily peel that off of a glass jar. I decided that was a little too tedious and I burned myself. So I decided to switch it up, and I went and got kind of like a strong rubber band and wrapped that around. And then all I did was kind of just shove each one of my lavenders in place, and the rubber band held it into place. I left the rubber band there, and then I just took some ribbon and hot glued that around the center to kind of hide the mechanics of it, and that's it. So easy, right? So then I just took a Dollar Tree candle, like a fake one, and put it in the center, and you have a really cute lavender wrapped vase that's just super, super adorable. And I absolutely love this because of the simplicity and because of the spring type vibes that it gives, and I hope you enjoyed that too. Since you might be entertaining this time of year because of Easter and other events that might be happening this spring, I wanted to give you a couple of table setting ideas. So this first one is just gonna take a napkin of your choice, and you are going to kind of open it up and then fold it in on itself on a 45-degree angle, if that makes sense. So you're kind of just wrapping it in on itself, taking the tips in and then folding that in until you kind of have like a long skinny thing with pointy ends. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that napkin and wrap it around one of your decorative eggs and then tie a little bow on top of that to hold it into place and kind of make it look like a bunny. That's the idea. Wrapped around a little egg, and you could further embellish that by tucking in a small little floral to embellish it, or you could leave it as is, whatever really works for your decor. And it's so simple, right? So easy way to decorate your little table, and you can just set that on the plate or whatever, and there you have it. Okay, so if you want to have like a very simple table setting that still feels very festive and special, I went to Hobby Lobby and bought these placemats. Now, you don't have to do these placemats. Really what you want to focus in on is texture. I liked it because it was greenery and it added an interesting element, and then I always just use simple white dishes to dress them up. I don't have fancy china. Maybe one day I'll have one again. I've had it in the past, but I found that I didn't really use it and that white plates were really good for me. It's all about layering, and layer it up however you want. Make sure you have a nice fabric napkin. That always works really well to have an elevated filling. And then you can wash them up. White is good because you can bleach them, and then you put your napkin out. Then I add like a regular boxwood wreath, or I've even used like a regular grapevine wreath in past when I've done some tablescapes. I've got Easter tablescapes in the past, so if you want to check those out, I'll list them below. But then what you can do is find these pre-made little nests. They always have them every year with little eggs in them, and set them on top of the boxwood wreath. And that's just got a really nice springy vibe to them. It's all about just adding layers and textures. Now, yes, you have to lift them up and put them away when you eat, but it's all about the presentation, right? And it just makes it feel special. And I think if people feel special, it's fun. So anyways, take that for what you will. If you want more tablescape ideas, like I said, I'll list those below, and hopefully you'll find something valuable there. next one was actually from a previous episode. Maybe you've seen it. A lot of you may not have. It was from, I think, a couple of years ago. It's just a simple place card holder, and you don't even have to use them as place card holders. You could make a whole bunch of them and do like a centerpiece if you wanted to. You can just take the principles of it. What I did is I got the little tiny terracotta pots from the Dollar Tree. I left them as is. You could paint them out to match your decor. I just left them as is. And what I was doing is I was knocking off a Pottery Barn one. It was so easy and so much cheaper. So I put floral foam in the center, and then I took a couple of those Real Touch tulips that we used on the cake. So you could do this and repeat the theme. It would look really great on a table if you're doing a whole dinner party. And you just shove a couple of those down into the foam. And then I covered up the mechanics with some just moss from the Dollar Tree. Very simple, just kind of shove that down into it. And then to create like a little place card holder, all you need is some decorative wire. You can pick that up in the floral section at any craft store, and you can take a pin and get it rolling, and then you're just gonna roll a little curly Q and then have it come down and go straight, and that will be your place card holder. You shove that down in the middle of the little tulip pot and put the place card names in there, and it's super cute, super easy. So I hope you like that hack and switch it out, customize it for you, and I hope it's helpful. Another little entertaining, easy treat slash decor, because I think food can definitely be decor, as we have found out from the little Easter bunny cake we made earlier. It's so cute. I think it's totally decor. So what you can do is you can pick up a pound cake. Usually they're in like the produce section near the strawberries, and cut them into 1-inch slices. Then take an Easter egg cookie cutter, if that makes sense, and cut out the shape of eggs. Then I found these melting chocolates right here from Michael's Sweet Tooth Fairy brand. I had never seen this before, and I thought it was so cute because this one's kind of a mint, like blue speckled egg look, right? With the little speckles in it, which you're trying to go for a lot of times with Easter eggs. And then this melting chocolate is like confetti, white with little confetti in it. I thought these would be so cute on our little Easter egg treats, and so all you're gonna do is then melt the chocolate. I think they just follow the directions on there. And then you're gonna dip your eggs in it. You can use a bamboo skewer to dip it in the chocolate. If you need to kind of drizzle it on and do it that way, it's okay. Just get it on there. And then let it sit and firm up. And then you have a speckled egg, super cute, fit for dessert, fit for decor, absolutely adorable. Display them on a really cute Easter plate. I found this really cute Easter bunny plate at Michael's again. I just thought it was adorable and I had to have it. And I'm gonna put it with my white stuff in here. I just love it. And so cute, so easy. Sure to impress, looks super high end. I think they're super cute as is, and a fun little treat. I won't be eating that because I'm eating a lot cleaner now, but you know, the kids deserve a little treat and I'm gonna make them for them. And then you could, you know, zhuzh them up even more if you wanted to. And I love it, and I hope you do too. Okay, so this next one was in another episode, but it's a really simple concept that's super, super easy, and it is so much fun. So you're gonna go outside and grab some dead branches from, they're all over. Let's be honest, when they trim the trees and all of that, you know, landscapers and you as a homeowner have some extra dead branches. So grab those. And then you're gonna grab a whole bunch of pink hydrangeas from the Dollar Tree and pull off the petals, and all you do is kind of bunch them up and hot glue them wherever you see fit to make cherry blossom branches. And what screams spring more than a cherry blossom branch? I just wish they smelled that good. I guess you could use some essential oil for that as well. But super easy to do and very, very cute. You can make a huge one or small one, whatever size you need, and that's how you do cherry blossom branches the easy way. So next up, we are gonna do a carrot garland. This is super easy to do. You get the carrots from the Dollar Tree, and then you can make some pom-poms to go along with it, and you rotate every other one, tying them into place on your little rope or whatever it is that you're attaching it to, and it is very simple to do, doesn't take a ton of time, and you have an adorable carrot garland for spring. Okay, so this next hack was a Pottery Barn knockoff. It's super easy. All you need is those miniature little terracotta pots that you can get from the Dollar Tree or any craft store out there. Put a little bit of floral foam down in the center, and then I got some of the pink Real Touch tulips, but you could use the white as well, and shove those down, 2 of them kind of at staggering heights in the center, and then just surround it with some moss. And then you can also add a little wire squiggly if you want to turn it into a place card holder. Super cute, super easy. Takes almost no time. Anybody can do this. Such a fun little hack, and I hope you enjoyed that. So I love a good wreath that is super beautiful but super simple. And so all you're gonna need for this is taking like a grapevine wreath, and then you're gonna get a whole bunch of different kinds of peonies. They sell them at Dollar Tree, and they've gotten really good at the Dollar Tree. I've seen them at Walmart and Michael's and all of the craft stores, and all you need to do is cut them down, glue them in, and you just kind of rotate sizes and kind of try to balance out big ones to small ones. And if you want to tuck in a little bit of greenery, but mostly peonies and just a little touch of greenery here and there, and it screams spring. It's gorgeous. I love this wreath, and I hope you do too, because it looks super high end, but you know how easy it was. So, and you can do this very affordably as well. This next place card holder is super, super easy, like super easy. And all you need to do is go in the springtime, or probably like 6 months before if you're shopping at Hobby Lobby, you know what I mean? They've always got like their holidays out like way too soon in my opinion. But go and find the little nests that have the little eggs in them. They're super cute and very springy. And then all you're gonna do is take some jewelry wires, what I like to use because it's got a really pretty sheen to it, and make a little squiggly scroll. And this is gonna be what you then put some hot glue on the bottom and stick it down in that center of that nest, and you've got the most adorable springy Easter time place card holder that will look so cute on your Easter or spring table, and it was easy and affordable to do. So we are gonna make an Easter bunny napkin holder. Super simple. This was based on like a Pottery Barn one, and super easy to do. So you're gonna take about 1/3 of a roll from a toilet paper roll, and you're gonna cut that off, and it will be about 1 inch or 2 thick. Then you're gonna simply cover that in burlap and hot glue that into place. Super, super simple. Then we're gonna make some bunny ears, and you're gonna just take some burlap ribbon, like a 6 to 8 inch section, and then you're gonna glue it long ways, right in the middle. And then you're gonna put a little bit of glue right in the center of that, and then you're gonna fold it up this way. And so you've got little bunny ears, so to speak. But they're kind of square, so you can't leave it like that. So then you're gonna take some scissors, cut the ear shape on both of them, and then you're gonna pull them out, and you've got the bunny ears. And then you just glue that to the paper ring, and you have adorable bunny ear napkin rings. Super, super cute. So affordable, right? And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it dresses up your spring table. Here's a simple way to get those Pottery Barn bunnies that you see that have like the moss on them, and they're super expensive. We'll just say that. You can do this for super affordable. You can go into any craft store in the spring season and find moss bunnies. Now, they're not as bougie looking as the Pottery Barn one, but it's a simple and easy fix. All you need is some like baby tears and like little tiny types of greenery that you can also find at the craft store. You're looking for like tiny leaves, and then you take some hot glue, tuck it in here and there, and you're gonna get a very similar look for a tiny fraction of the cost. It's very simple. It's just like clipping off little tiny amounts, gluing them in here and there. super easy. You can do this. I totally trust you, and I hope you enjoy it. I know in my childhood it was filled with water balloon fights. There's something nostalgic and fun about water balloon fights, but getting the balloons ready for that water fight can be kind of tedious. So hopefully this next hack will make it a little easier, and honestly, maybe a little bit better for the environment because it is reusable. So what you're gonna do is, I just went to the Dollar Tree and picked up several packages of these 2 packs of sponges. You might be able to find a better deal elsewhere as well. I got them in the 2 different colors, an equal amount. So you could do this the long way and you cut them into half and then in half again, and you get 4 strips. But I found that if you cut them the wider direction, you got more out of them. They were good for smaller hands. I think that they might be a better way to do it. And the way you do it this way is you cut them in half and then you cut those halves and thirds, and then you get a total of 6 equal pieces. And these do not need to be like perfect. So you can totally eyeball this and just get them approximate. And then you just kind of bunch them together, take some elastic bands and wrap that around the center, and then you kind of pull them out and tweak them, and it kind of creates this like little orb thing, like a spiky orb, and they're just soft sponges. So I did that with the pink and green ones, and I bunched those together, and then I did some in blue and yellow. So that way, if you're doing it on teams or if you're doing it in groups, it's easy to sort out whose is whose. I mean, not that when all heck breaks loose with a water fight, maybe it doesn't really matter, but then you toss these into buckets. I picked these ones up from the Dollar Tree as well. So all you have to do is dunk the sponges and throw, dunk and throw, dunk and throw, instead of tediously and painstakingly filling water balloons, knotting them off, only for them to pop a second later. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Baby, we're children of summer. We're meant to be
still a fun way to cool off and have a water fight, but without all of the work that is associated with water balloons. So I hope that that brings a little bit of fun to your life this summer. Okay, so we've got to do some kind of fun summer decor, and I hope you like this next idea. And it's got a lot of flexibility in it. And so what you're gonna do is take some kind of citrus piece of fruit. So that could be oranges, that could be limes. In my case, I decided to go with lemons, and my lemons were really big. So you can cut these or not cut these, but in my case, they were so big, I had to kind of cut them. I kind of just put them on the outskirts of a cylinder vase, so you can take the principles of it and apply it any way that suits your needs. And then what I did is I took some tulips in these kind of orange and yellow colors. I thought this was really pretty, and I just kind of tucked them down in the center. And then the way the tulips fall is really, really simple and beautiful and elegant. I love that look. I also have seen this look done with hydrangeas. You could do this with roses, whatever's in your garden. The idea really is just getting some summery citrus items in the glass vase. It really kind of elevates the look of the arrangement and provides that summertime cheer. And so hopefully you can take that and adapt it to your favorite flower and make it work for you. Simple, easy, classy arrangement, and anybody can do this, I promise. No fancy florist degree required. Okay, so we are going to be making a simple tabletop s'mores setup. In case you have like a gas grill, or you are having some other kind of dinner party, or maybe you just want to have a fun little treat on an evening. You don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of doing a fire. This is like a compact way to do it. And so you can take just a simple terracotta pot, which is universally available. I got one at Hobby Lobby for $1.50 on their 50% off sale, or I found this one also at Hobby Lobby that had the little legs on it. And I'll tell you what, if you do the regular terracotta pot, you are gonna probably want to elevate it somehow anyways, whether you set that on like a piece of stone or something. You do kind of want to lift the heat off, because what we're gonna do is turn this into like a little mini charcoal like holding thing. So that's why I liked this one. If you can't find this one, just elevate it somehow, put it on a piece of wood, separate it from your table somehow. Then what you're gonna do is you're you're going to line your pot with some tin foil, and I would use heavy duty, and you're gonna make sure that that is all covered. Then you're gonna take some barbecue charcoal briquettes and put it in there. Make sure there's a little bit of space in between. You don't want it like super compacted, you know, for things to burn. There needs to be a little oxygen, of course. And I use the pre-lit ones just because it eliminates a step, and I found that it does work. And then you light your briquettes and let them get nice and charcoaly. If you were planning on doing this at a dinner party, I think it would be a really fun little piece to have going while you're eating dinner as like decor. And I don't know, I just kind of think that that would create a little bit of an ambiance. And while you're eating, then it kind of can burn down and get to that nice charcoaly stage that you need to roast marshmallows on. I had some marshmallow roasting sticks. Now you don't need marshmallow roasting sticks to do this. You could simply use bamboo skewers and then roast your marshmallows. Now this is a little side hack if you want to keep things simple. I really like using the fudge stripe cookies because they've got the chocolate and kind of the graham cracker vibe all ready to go, but you could do the traditional s'mores as well. And there's a lot of fun ways to make the s'mores fancy. There's a lot of fun ways you can do your s'mores, but the idea here is you just have a compact thing. You don't have to have the whole muss and fuss of a big barbecue or a fire, and you can still get that summer s'mores experience. Not me. Just because I'm not eating sugar doesn't mean that my kids can't have some. Let's bring them out and have them make some s'mores. Let's make some s'mores, boys. Okay, so maybe this is the same like dinner party. Maybe it's like a fun pool party and it starts to get dark outside. And here is a fun hack for you for your drink bin with the ice. You throw in your ice in your bucket that you're gonna put all of your drinks in, and it's starting to get dark outside, but here's a little fun element you can do. You break off some glow sticks, just crack them and you tuck them down underneath the ice, and it makes the ice glow. And so not only will you be able to see your drinks a little bit better, but it adds a little bit of spice, a little bit of fun at nighttime to have glowing ice. How much fun is this? It's so easy to do. It's just shoving in some little glow sticks into your ice bucket. Lots of fun colors. You could do it all one color, but I liked the kind of mixture of colors, and I thought this would be a really fun thing to do at a party. Now, on the same note of glowing things, we have a pool. Now, if you don't have a pool, you can take this idea and kind of adapt it. I thought it would be really fun to have glowing balls and glowing floating devices. And so I found these little floating tubes at the Dollar Tree. You might want to get some bigger ones. These ones were kind of smaller than I was thinking. I should have expected for $1.25 that they would be a little on the smaller side. And then I got some balls. Now, at my Dollar Tree, they actually had a glow-in-the-dark ball that was ready to go. Now, if you can't find that, they do have these other blow-up beach balls, and the same principle applies for all of these items. What you do is you break the glow sticks, shove them through the blow-up hole, and sometimes it doesn't want to go through at first, but once you get one fed through, it's easy to get more feeding through. So it's just kind of getting that first little portion of like the little stem to open and shoving those in. I put 3 in my tubes. I would recommend doing about 5 just for a bigger glow. It still worked and it was really fun. Now for my little beach ball that glowed, the one that I got at the Dollar Tree, and there was only one of them. It was the only one that I could find, but you could probably order these online. I'll make sure to link them below if I can find them. You break the big glow stick and you shove that. There's like a special hole in the ball where you can shove that, and then you can get refill ones and just replace them and use that all summer long. And if you don't have a pool, the ball would be really fun to kind of play kickball or just play around with a ball that glows in the dark. It's so much fun. And I just envision, if you were really trying to have an epic pool party, having a whole bunch of glowing balls floating around in the pool. I think it would be so much fun and really make for a memorable summer party. So I hope that this gets your wheels spinning, gives you some ideas of how you could implement that. If you were doing like a beach ball, the blow up ones that you have to blow up yourself, I would probably probably put about 4 or 5 in there, but if you can find the ones that already have like the spot for the big glow stick, I would definitely go that route. So much fun with glow in the dark stuff, and I hope that brings a whole lot of fun for your summer. So this next one is a project that I did actually 2 years ago, so that's why I know this is a really good hack, because it's still holding up. Maybe you have some tired patio furniture that's starting to look rusty and faded and ugly. I did. But the chaise lounges and sometimes patio furniture can get really expensive very quickly. So instead of chucking them and buying new stuff, give them new life. I did this by just taking some black spray paint and giving it a fresh spray. I covered it on the underside, and then I flipped it over and spray painted it on the other side. And I wasn't even sure that this was gonna work or last, but I figured if I got one more summer out of it, I would be good. Well, that was 2 summers ago, and we're about to go into our 3rd summer with these spray painted chaise lounges here, and they are holding up amazing. In fact, like if I needed to touch up a little spot here or there, they are just fine. I have just been totally blown away. It really did work. That was in a patio makeover that I did a couple summers ago, and then it's holding up so well. So maybe instead of tossing out your tired looking furniture, just spray paint it and give it new life, and hopefully that will save you a ton of money. Okay, so I am probably one of the lucky few. I don't get sunburns too often. Because of this, it makes me sometimes forget to do really good with sunscreen. I'm trying to do better about it, but inevitably sometimes you stay a little too long out in the sun and you end up with a sunburn. So here's a little hack for your kids. When they get a little bit too much sun, you might want some aloe, and it's hot and it's stingy and it hurts. The aloe is nice and soothing, but if we can make it even a little cooler, make some fun little aloe ice cubes. I found these really cute summer looking ice cube trays. They're silicone. I think you can even look like in the cake decorating supply area at your Walmart, and there's all kinds of different options. Dinosaurs, teddy bears, butterflies, all of that. And you just take your aloe gel and you squeeze it into the tray, tap, tap, tap. Throw it in the freezer, keep it in the freezer so that when you do get a sunburn, or maybe you've got a cut, or maybe you've got some fire ants, we get those here in Florida, you can take one of those aloe ice cubes out, rub it onto the owie. I'm such a mom. And then make it feel so good. And it's just kind of silly, but I like the idea of the frozen aloe because it's gonna be really soothing, and the shapes are just more for kind of fun. So put that in, keep it in your freezer so you can pull them out as you need them, and I hope that helps some of you out. Okay, so for this next hack, what you're gonna need is a shower curtain. And I picked one out at Target just to kind of demonstrate. What you're looking here is you're not looking for the plastic ones, you're not looking for the totally fabric ones, but there's like a fabric plastic one, if that makes sense. It's not really plastic, but it's definitely a more water repellent fabric type of shower curtain. And you're gonna use this at the beach maybe, but also on your picnics because it's very wipeable, it's easily clean, easily washed, and it's not sticky underneath you like a plastic shower curtain would be, but it's not hot and heavy like a blanket. There's lots of fun prints that you can find, so you could have a lot of fun picking out one that suits your personality. But the idea is you use it in lieu of a regular blanket, out picnicking, out on the beach, and it's water repellent and stain resistant and mildew resistant and all of that good stuff. So I know it's a little unconventional, but if you have an old shower curtain that would work that maybe you don't like the style of, you could use it as a picnic blanket instead, and there you go. Kind of random, but hopefully it helps you out this summer. Okay, it gets really hot here in Florida, especially in the summer. So what do you do for that? You either go in the pool or you eat popsicles, of course. But popsicles can start to melt really fast if you're not eating them fast enough, and then they get all over your hands, and they're sticky hands. It's just kind of annoying. I know I don't like sticky hands, and as a mom, I really don't like constantly cleaning sticky hands because sometimes those little hands don't want to cooperate very well when they're younger. My kids are a little bit older now, but I hope this will give you grandmas and mothers out there, and frankly, myself, I will totally use this hack. It's easy. Take a cupcake liner, shove your popsicle stick through that cupcake liner. It's very easy, and that cupcake liner will catch all of the sticky and keep your hands clean. It's a super, super simple summer hack, and I hope that it helps you out and keeps your hands nice and not sticky. Do you want a water fountain but don't want to hardwire one? This next hack you're gonna love. We are gonna be doing like a solar powered fountain planter thing. So the first thing I did is I got a similar black urn pedestal base to the other pedestal bases that I have on my front porch. And then I took kind of another black planter and flipped it upside down and kind of tried to level it out. And then what I did is I added some herbs in this pot, some like oregano and thyme, and I thought that would be kind of a cute little herb garden. So with those planted up, I kind of tried a couple of different combinations with some other black pots, but it wasn't really working for me. So I went to some stores to kind of see what other options there were, and then I found this really cool big heavy duty plastic bowl from Ross. And so I bought it, and then I set that right on the upside down portion of that one pot that we kind of tucked down in the soil. And then I put some river stones that I picked up at the Dollar Tree into the base of that. And then I added our solar fountain feature. What you want to do is you peel off the little top portion and you submerge it into the water as quickly as possible so it sucks that water right in and it will start working. It works fantastic in the daytime, really, really well. There's a lot of little different toppers that you can put on it. It also does have the straws that kind of keep it in center if you want. And here's the other thing is when it's spraying all this water out the sides, I'm like, hey, it's watering the plants for me. It's letting me off the hook a little bit. Maybe it will stay alive. And so I'm like, that's a benefit to me. And then it just works on its own. And then during the day, it kind of stores energy. So at night, it has this really cool effect where it lights up, it changes color, and it's just kind of like something fun in front of my house. And I love how this turned out, so it's awesome, and I hope you loved it too. Maybe you're going on a picnic, maybe you're going to a park, and you don't want to lug along a big barbecue, but you want to have some burgers and hot dogs or some other yummy things, and maybe roast some marshmallows. This hack is for you. All you're going to need to do is go to the Dollar Tree and pick up a big roaster pan and a cooling rack. Then you're gonna take some self-lighting charcoal and put that into the roaster pan and kind of spread it out. Then all you need to do, since it's already like kind of soaked in that fuel, is light the charcoal kind of all over and let it heat up. And then I made a tent with some aluminum foil to kind of keep that heat in, get the charcoal going, and then we could put our burgers on. Now I very comfortably got 4 large burgers and a couple of hot dogs on there. I could have definitely squoze on a couple extra hot dogs, and I tinted it with that aluminum foil and let it cook, and then, you know, it just cooked like you normally would with a grill. Let's see how we're doing here. I got my little tongs, we're gonna pull it off. Ooh, that's looking good. Oh, those hot dogs are looking beautiful. Flip, oh my word, this is beautiful. I can't believe this. This is totally working. These are perfect. Let's just kind of tint this again. Oh, they're looking perfect. Look at this. This is totally doable, you guys. Oh, those are good. Look at those beauties. Total beauties. Let's just kind of lift up and see how these are looking. I think they need a little bit more time, but they're about done. The time I got, it is just enough. I thought I might try to toast a bun here, because that would be fun. What it means to grow. Oh, yeah, now I know. These burgers look perfect. Perfect. There's definitely enough heat going on this. You could do another round of burgers and hot dogs and maybe even roast some s'mores. Then you're gonna wanna make sure that it's fully cooled before you dispose of it. So if that's dousing it in dirt, dousing it in water, you're gonna wanna make sure that it is fully cooled, and then you can wrap it all back up in the tin foil and dispose of it properly. Just make sure that there's no possibility of starting any unwanted fires. Just be very careful. So the ultimate way to tell if this hack was a success is to taste test, and we'll just see. Oh yeah, try it out. Isn't that a really cool hack for summer? Is you can have this instant grill at very little cost, and it is so much fun, and it worked great. So for our next outdoor home hack, if you have some mosquitoes, you're gonna wanna take note, because our next hack is a decorative mosquito repellent. All you'd need to do for this is take a fresh lemon and a fresh lime, slice them up in slices, and then you're gonna kind of rotate those in a jar, and then you're gonna add a couple of sprigs of rosemary, and you're just gonna place it all in there, make it look pretty, and then over the top of that, you're gonna just add water. Now, I have 3 of these containers. I got these containers at the Dollar Tree. They're really pretty. I like that they have lids, and you'll see why in just a second. And then you're gonna wanna add some essential oils. Now, there are several essential oils that kind of keep away the bugs, keep away the mosquitoes. The recipe suggests that you add about 10 to 15 drops of rosemary. I did about 10 drops of rosemary, but I also added 10 drops of TerraShield, which is doTERRA's version of mosquito repellent. It works really good. By Revive, there's one called Bugs Away. Lavender essential oil is also really good at repelling mosquitoes and bugs. So there's lots of options, and whatever fragrance works best for you. And then I just took some tea lights. You could take floating candles, and I lit them. I think fire detracts the mosquitoes, so the combination of all these fragrances plus the candle really helps to repel the bugs. I think these would make such a beautiful centerpiece, but you could put them around your outdoor area, light them. They smell amazing to me. It's a mystery to me why this would repel bugs, because it smells really good and it's really pretty. And so this is a really good hack for you. The awesome thing is when you're done, you could blow out the candle, leave the candle in if you want, or you can pull them out, but put the lids on, put them in your fridge until like the next night if you want to reuse them. So this is one that can last a little bit, and this is the one that would be really good for like an outdoor gathering this summer. So I hope that you enjoyed this hack. So my next hack was inspired by one of my viewers, Gail Barnett. She suggests using Listerine as a mosquito repellent. So I did a little research on this, and it does actually work. And in addition to it, you can actually use the generic mouthwash. Just go find the ones that are strong in the minty flavors. The mint is a repellent as well, but there's also some ingredients in the mouthwash that helps to repel those bugs and mosquitoes. So for my version, I took some mint mouthwash and I combined it with about a cup to a cup and a half of I think it's a mint eucalyptus Epsom salt, and all of those fragrances as well as the Epsom salt kind of repel the bugs. I also found recipes out there that included flat beer. That is another option for you to kind of put in this natural mosquito repellent. Now, Gail recommended spraying your screens and your doors to kind of keep the bugs away from them, but you can also use this on plants and around your yard. You would need to make it in a little bit bigger quantity if you're going to really be using it out in your garden and out in your yard. And it would probably be a little bit more expensive than like a traditional bug spray, but what's really cool about it is it's all natural. And here's the other thing. The mint coupled with like the eucalyptus and all of these scents, it smells super good. I'm like, how is this gonna detract the mosquitoes? Because it smells really good. It smells so good that you can actually spray it on yourself. It does kind of feel a tad sticky, but I think a lot of the bug sprays that you spray on your body are a little bit sticky, and it smells a lot better than those type of bug sprays. So there's lots of options with this mosquito repellent, and I hope you find it beneficial. So maybe you've got an outdoor gathering planned and you want a really fun and different way to keep your drinks cool. Well, this next hack is a lot of fun, and it will kind of add like a beautiful touch to your drink cooling. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna take some flower heads, and now I just picked up a bunch from Walmart, but you could go out to your garden and just pick some little flowers to go in these. I thought it would be really cute with pansies or violas. I only had these daisies to work with, but you break off the heads of them, and then you take a balloon and you kind of take your fingers and stretch it out. It would be easier if you had two people doing this, one to stretch and one to drop the flower in. It was just me, so it was a little tricky, but we got the job done. Put the flower inside the balloon, and then you fill it up with water. Now, you'll see in a second that you may want to consider using like a distilled water or something for your version, because I think it will give you a little clearer water. We'll get to that in just a second. The next thing you need to do is freeze it, and I would recommend freezing it 8 to 12 hours. I think that's about the amount of time you need for like a snowball sized ice cube that you've got going here. And then you pull them out once they're frozen and kind of clip off the edge and peel back the balloon, and it reveals this beautiful kind of decorative ice. Now, what I will tell you is it actually looks prettier once it starts to melt a little bit, because it removes that initial layer of frost and kind of reveals a clear thing. And I do believe that if you use like a distilled water or something that's been filtered a little bit more than my bathroom sink water, you would get a little bit clearer shot of those flowers. And there's just a lot of possibilities on this. And then you can just throw it in a bucket, throw your ice on it. I only did this small amount, but you could do a huge bowl or bucket out of this, and I think it would be really cute. But I hope that brings a little personality to your summer events. So this next hack is how to create an easy tabletop fire bowl, because maybe you don't have an outdoor fire pit, maybe you don't have the room for it, it's a lot of work and expense, but you could do a tabletop fire bowl. Now, I did this initially in one of my IKEA hacks last summer. It was a huge hit. I love how it went, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick a bowl that you like. In this case, I found a terracotta one that I really liked the shape of, but I didn't like the color of it, but you could totally leave the color alone. This part is totally optional. And I ended up spray painting the inner part in this really pretty shimmery gold, and the outside a really pretty satin black. And then I thought that looked really, really cool. I first stuck in these like chafing cans that have the fuel that you use to kind of keep food warm. They do sell that some at the Dollar Tree, but I actually found that the ones on Amazon are a better deal because they burn longer. Plus, you don't have to switch them out as often, which is nice because they'll burn for about 6 hours. And then I kind of just put all the empty bags and like random stuff, so we didn't have to totally load it down with some stones, but I picked up these black stones from the Dollar Tree and I filled it up.
Sometimes I understand.
And it just adds such a nice little ambiance to your evening, to your gathering, and then also provides you a way to, you know, toast some marshmallows and make some s'mores. And I just think it's a really fun and easy summer hack. If you haven't created a fire bowl, I'd highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun. Do you have a pot that looks a little like this? Black, but it's kind of dull. It's plastic. Well, I've got a hack for you. This is another use for WD-40. This won't be a permanent fix, but it should last you a good while. What we're gonna do is just spray this on and rub it all over, and it will give us a nice like new shine. How awesome is this? Seriously, gotta love WD-40. Now you may have to repeat this one a couple of times during the summer. It's not a permanent fix, but it will last a while, and it's a really quick and easy way, and you don't have to like replace the pot. So I hope that helps you. Oh my heck, how many of us have oil spots on our driveway? Tell me I am not alone. Those darn leaky cars. And we have a paver driveway that had a lot of oil on it, so let's see how to fix it. So I got this off of Amazon. It's a degreaser. It had really good reviews. So we're gonna see if this works. I also got this little brush. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour this on our grease spots, scrub it really good, let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna break out our power washer and power wash our driveway. After 2 treatments, I would say this process gave me about a 60 to 70% improvement over what it was before. So I am really happy with these results, but I think that if I give it a couple more treatments, I can get it all the way removed, because this has been sitting on our driveway for months now, and it might take a little extra effort to get it all the way out. I love little kind of trash to treasure hacks, and this one is a really good one. If you have some fabric softener bottles, or maybe you have a milk jug, or maybe you have an orange juice container, you can reuse them and turn them into an awesome watering can. So what you're gonna wanna do is, like for me, I just removed all the labels, washed it out really, really well inside and out, and got it really clean. And then I personally took I have a hot pen, which is meant for cutting like styrofoam and other plastics, and I knew that it would be perfect for this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the lid of whatever your container is and poke several holes in the lid to where water could potentially come out. So just poke, 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 poke. The hot pen makes this super easy, and I use it for my crafting, so multi-purpose, and it's not very expensive. I'll link it below. But if you don't have a hot pen, what you can do is take a nail and heat it up with like a lighter and poke that through. You can, just take a nail and hammer it through. There's lots of ways to get a hole. The other place you want to put a hole is kind of like right above the handle. Poke another hole in there, and you'll see why that's important in just a second, and that's it. And then you fill it up with water, and you take it out, and you can water your planters with it. And the cool thing about that hole right where the handle is you can kind of control the flow. In some cases, you can kind of stop the flow altogether, but most cases, it's gonna slow it way down, and then you lift it up and then you get the full flow. So just whatever you're looking for, it's kind of handy to have that around. And you have a perfectly acceptable, and in my case, even beautiful watering can with something that I would have just tossed in the recycle bin. And so that was free to me, and it's gonna work great all summer long. And so I love that. Our next hack is a great renter-friendly one, or owner. It works either way. Say you have some glass on a front door or an exterior door, and you want a little privacy, but you don't want to spend a ton of money, because those frosting films that you get that are meant for doors are kind of pricey. But guess what? There is a very cheap substitute, and you can pick it up at the Dollar Tree, and that is just their regular clear contact paper. It works great for adding privacy and a frosted look. So to do this, just cut out your $1 contact paper just a little bit larger than the window pane. Lightly mist with a water bottle, and then stick your contact paper to the window and smooth it out using some kind of flat scraping tool. Then you're going to take a razor blade and cut off the excess as close to the edge as possible. Now, my water bottle went a little overboard and was pretty blotchy with the way the water sprayed out, and a few days later the water bubbles are still dissipating. And then in my case, the bubbles did eventually disappear, and it looks completely like frosted glass. You would never in a million years know that this was contact paper from the Dollar Tree, and you did it for potentially under $1, depending on how much glass you need to cover. But isn't that a fun and easy, inexpensive hack that gives you a little privacy?
Strangers again.
Say say you're going to the beach, say you're going to a pool, and you don't really want to haul around your purse, but you might need a little extra cash. This next hack is for you. All you're gonna do is take a chapstick or some kind of lip balm container, and then you're gonna want to empty it out. I threw mine into the microwave to soften it up a little bit, and then you take a Q-tip, and then you're gonna take a toothpick and maybe some paper towels, and you're just gonna clean it out really, really well. Just wipe it down really good. You might even want to remove the label to make it look even more boring. The more boring, the less enticing, right? The better. And then you have a perfect container to hold some cash that is super inconspicuous. So all you're gonna do is kind of fold your cash lengthwise first, and then you're gonna roll it up really, really tight, and then you're gonna put it on the inside of this tube and put on the lid, and that is it. And nobody's gonna wanna steal that, because who's gonna wanna steal like somebody's nasty old chapstick, really? It's so gross, like if you think about it. And then really cool, all you have to do is kind of twist it up and your cash comes out. And there you go. You can pay for all of your summer refreshments, and you don't have to carry around a purse, and nobody's gonna steal it. And so it's awesome. That's just like a super easy hack. You may have seen that before, but I just thought it's so brilliant, so genius to kind of find like something completely that nobody's gonna be interested in and store some valuables. Okay, so I've made it pretty clear on my channel that I am a serial plant killer. I don't mean to, I just can't keep plants alive for the life of me. And then I felt guilty and I was tired of that. So I did something kind of crazy, and I don't know if you want to call this a hack or not. Kind of a hack, right? I started using faux plants outside. This last spring, I planted up some faux topiaries and put faux like color resistant greenery around the base. They looked beautiful and they were fake. So I think that they have really improved the quality of greenery, that it looks good. And so maybe that's tacky, I don't know. You'll have to be the judge of that for yourself. I loved it. I thought it was super cute, and now I don't have to feel guilty that I'm killing plants and sending them to an early grave. We don't need to worry about that anymore because we're using the faux stuff. Maybe one day I will somehow get a green thumb. I don't know. This next summer hack is super easy, but super, super cute. I thought it was super fun. So all you're gonna do is take those kind of large ice cube trays, the silicone ones, and you're gonna fill them up maybe a quarter of the way with water. And you're not gonna need very much of it, because once you start shoving the orange slices in, it will make it kind of lift up. So all you're gonna do is slice a whole bunch of oranges pretty thin, and then you're gonna start wrapping these orange slices and kind of creating a faux rose within that tray. And all you're doing is just kind of, you know, folding them in and tucking them here and there. Then all you do is stick it in the freezer, freeze them, and then put it in one of your summer drinks, whether it's water or a seltzer or whatever you want to put it in. This is a fun and summery way with the citrus rose that's orange. Just so cute, smells good, tastes good, can't go wrong. Super easy to do, and I hope you enjoy that. Well, if you are still here, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really value and appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this and found some valuable information in it, some good ideas. And if you enjoyed this episode, here's another one that I think you'll like as well. And to all of my DIY goddesses out there, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.